Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All friends today on this President's Day edition of Bishop and Friends. Eric Reeser, Tyus Powell, Ryan Baker with you until noon. The third best day in February, I guess. President's Day, we're still doing that.
Why is it third? What's second?
I was going to say Valentine's Day second.
Okay.
And then first would be February 16th,
Correct.
the birthday of one Tyus Powell.
Approximately 11:34 p.m. at night.
I thought you were going to say the Super Bowl was number one.
How does being 31 feel?
How does 31 feel? 31 feels like 30, actually.
Yeah.
There's no big thing about 31. Like
you cross the Rubicon from 29 to 30, and then it's just
Yeah. I feel like I did 48 hours ago. Like it's
just a number, man.
It is.
Until you're 40, then.
No, because see, that's the thing. I was talking to Jake Crawford yesterday, and Jay, because he wished me happy birthday, and he was
so did our Twitter at 971BFS.
I did see that.
Sent you a wonderful message.
A great picture that you decided to display.
Well, I can't take credit for all of the things admin does, but happy birthday.
I sat there and I just laughed. I'm never going to live this picture down. Hey, it was a Super Bowl champion, so
right.
Therefore,
an all-time athlete on this planet, Saquon Barkley, jumping over Tyus Powell.
So that Super Bowl champion, Saquon Barkley. But anyways, we were talking about how like you get old and your body starts to go. You start your knees and then your back and all those things. And he was just saying, like, no, he said, the thing is, as long as you continue to stay active, like, you'll never really feel old. And that's a fact, because on days that I don't work out, like, I feel my knees. But, like, when I'm working out and running around or playing basketball or whatever it is that I'm doing, like, I feel fine. Like, I feel like a young kid again. So, technically, as long as I stay active, which I don't see myself not, because I don't want to, I don't want to get big.
You don't get fat?
No, yeah.
That's important.
So I got to stay active.
Very important. We got an active show for you today at 10:30. Dylan Tyrer is going to join us. He's the post-game host for the Columbus Blue Jackets on the Blue Jackets radio network. The NHL nailed the Four Nations Faceoff, and so we'll get his thoughts on that. And then the Blue Jackets coming back from the break on Saturday. They've got the Chicago Blackhawks, will be the first opponent outside of this 2-week break. At 11:30, Adam Jardy is going to join the program. He covers the basketball Buckeyes for the Columbus Dispatch. The theme from yesterday was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And I feel like the last couple of seasons, that's been the prevailing theme for me.
No, it ain't.
Missed opportunities.
I wouldn't say that.
No? What would you say then?
Last couple of years, it went downhill fast. This year, when you thought it might, like the coach changed that. Like, no. This ain't that. We're not going back to that. And he did a great job of righting the ship to where he was able to rattle off some really impressive wins. And I think when you watch the game yesterday, they were right there, man. Like, they were right there, literally for darn near the entire game. For a lot of it,
16 ties, 11 lead changes.
And I was sitting there like, it got to points where it was like they just couldn't hit a shot. Like, it was like, they just can't make the shot. But then a couple minutes go by, boom, they start making some shots, and boom, they put themselves right in the tie. And when you get to the end of that game, That was shit. Oh, my goodness, Eric. I watched that last play, and I was like, Bruce did exactly what you want.
Bruce had no idea he'd be that open.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he dropped the defender, made him fall, hit the guy with the up fake, up and under the guy, and was literally looking. It was him in the basket. And he just T-Rexed the thing. He just shorted it. And I was just like, wow. Like, it really hurt me. I was invested. Hurt. I was too invested to see. But the crowd was great. The atmosphere was great. It was a great game. Yep. And you just, like, that was it, man. Like, that was the moment that, like, we missed it.
86-83 the final. The number 20 Michigan gets, again, that 3-point win, escapes Columbus with it. Now the Wolverines are the top team in the Big Ten. It was interesting. I was listening to Baker and Scotty Vegas on the Fans call-in show Sundays at 11. They were talking about that shot by Evan Turner in the Big Ten tournament over Michigan.
Yeah.
That's a shot.
From the yard.
That's a shot everybody dreams about making. Everybody, when it's almost like the Jack Sawyer scoop and score. If you're in Ohio and you play football, you dream of a play like that.
Correct.
Bruce Thornton's going to see that shot, is going to see that distance between himself and the rim, and Wolf just 5 feet away in his nightmares forever.
And, of course, we're going to talk about that shot, but the stat of the game yesterday to me, Michigan, 46 rebounds, Ohio State, 31.
Well, I mean, you knew.
Didn't you expect that, though?
You did, but it's just the recurring theme for this team, and it's almost what you expect now, especially whenever you face a team that has bigs, and those two bigs, both with double-doubles, just absolutely destroyed Ohio State yesterday. And to me, it's not so much that you got out-rebounded like you did with the numbers, but it was the way it looked. Like, Ohio State just didn't look like there was any effort in rebounding the ball. A shot goes up on the offensive end, and it seems like not only the shooter is he running backwards, but so are three other players.
Baker, welcome to the conversation. I said that Friday.
What about their rebounding?
Yeah, I said they need to go back to the basics. Everybody on that team need to go, when that ball is up, find somebody to box out. No, and it was a lot of times, you're right. I seen that shot go, and it seemed like it was not a red jersey down there trying to get anything.
Tyvis, I'll say it like we talk about people when they get into their 30s. They're kind of fully formed individuals. What you saw yesterday from Ohio, that's that team.
No,
that's the Ohio State team.
I don't want to believe that.
I'm sorry,
because here we are. We talking about tournaments starting here in a month.
Sure.
Like, if they say they did play great, like, hello, if you try to.
Kalkenbrenner was injured yesterday. The big for the Blue Jays. So I don't think he'll be back come tournament time.
I'm sure.
But I saw that. I said, oh,
well, we got a
chance. Because when you face a team like Michigan, if the projection from Mike DeCourcy, who we had on Friday, has Ohio State a 10 seed in the Midwest region, they'd be playing the 7th seed Creighton Blue Jays, who with Kalkenbrenner have legit 7-foot size, tall and large. You're going to have no answer for that because it's not. I mean, it was interesting to see Bradshaw start the second half of the basketball Buckeyes because I think Jake Diebler is just trying to figure out something with this.
And how many rebounds he finished with?
It wasn't great.
One.
Okay. But that's what I'm telling you. Like, to go into that game expecting Ohio State to match the size of Golden and Wolf would have been foolish.
It's not even about matching the size. It's effort. Like, Sean Stewart had 10 rebounds yesterday.
Effort can only get you so far, I believe, against that.
But that's the concerning thing to me about this team right now. As many good things as Jake has done, there's just certain times a lot of times they're getting out hustled on hustle plays, which rebounding is a hustle play, an effort play. They are coming up short. And I mean, Michigan's a really good team. They have a really good basketball team.
Right. It was all right.
And Ohio State was right there.
He's jumping the gun here.
They could have won that game easily. And they didn't, and I think it's those effort plays, and that's concerning to me at this moment of the season. And it's not like this is just a one-off. We've seen this throughout the year. They've had a lot of these games that we're like, oh, man, that one's going to come back to bite them because they've been so close to win, they just don't.
Do you think, because when you talk to Jake Diebler, before the season started, when he got the job, and you asked him, what type of product that we were going to see. And he always talked about I want to be a team that pushes the ball. Like from all the time that I played to when I coach, I always wanted teams to push, hustle, like get out there and push the ball up the court, get the ball and let's go. And my thing is, do you think he overdid that part to where, because you say the ball goes up and everybody's getting back, do you think that he forgot to tell them, hey, we got to get the ball first before we could do the break? Like, do you think that's the thing?
I just think it's this day and age of basketball player a lot, and you really have to be like a Tom Izzo. Like we've seen over the years how physical Tom Izzo practices, and like they would have the football players out there with pads hitting guys when they went to rebound. It's just a mentality, I think, and I don't know what it is with this Ohio State team. They just don't have it. Maybe it's because Bradshaw and Stewart are so thin and they haven't put on the weight, so they're not used to banging. Maybe they've never had to before. I don't know what it is.
That dude is 7'1". What are you talking about? He's
very tall.
What do you mean he never had to bang? You've been a center your entire life.
So we'll hear from Jake Diebler coming up at the bottom of the hour. You can throw some of these questions at Adam Jardy when he joins us at 11:30. Coming up next, USA number 1, all others number 2. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Mark your calendars for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, February 21st and 22nd. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Seller. Wedding Weekend is back with incredible offers you won't want to miss. Join us for buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special no-interest financing on engagement rings. We've had the guaranteed best price for over 78 years. So choose a jeweler you can trust and come see us February 21st and 22nd at Diamond Seller on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Bring the thrill of the stadium to your wallet with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the only checking account that rewards you for being a Crew fan. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
You hungry? You know you are. We got chicken fingers, crunchy, fries are golden crispy, baby. Yo, don't forget about the cane sauce, baby. Ooh, here's the spot. Hello.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Goes to Rothman and Ice has been named the best midday show in the country by our industry peers.
A winner if ever there was one.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Also, Common Man and T-Bone has been named best show at sucking. The Fan.
Hi, the Scott Antique Markets are back again at the Ohio Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. The market is one weekend monthly, November through March. Build your family heirlooms. You can find everything that gets old. Just take I-71 to exit 111 to enjoy America's favorite treasure hunt. Visit thescottantiquemarket.com for more information. Come join us at the Ohio Expo Center for the Scott Antique Markets. It's huge. It's the Scott Antique Markets this weekend.
Have you ever told a friend
Oh, I'm fine.
when you really felt
Just so overwhelmed.
or sent a text
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
when you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are looking at a cold, brisk, and windy Monday out there. Today's high temperature will be around 22. However, when you factor in that wind, it'll feel like only 9 degrees this afternoon. Partly sunny today, partly cloudy tonight, low of 9. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter doesn't have a mullet, but he's knee-deep in mullet energy. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Just a real quick update on Ryan Kalkenbrenner. That's Creighton's big man. I reference Mike DeCourcy's bracket projections that have Ohio State a 10 seed in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. They'd play the 7th-seeded Creighton Blue Jays, who right now ranked 24th in the country. He injured his foot in their 79-73 loss to St. John this past Saturday, but it looks like he just tweaked it, so should be fine. I think they've got a game against Georgetown here coming up sometime this week, so TBD on him.
He'll probably just miss that one and
then
probably be back.
They got DePaul, Xavier. I'm looking up their schedule now. Seton Hall and Butler, all unranked Big East games.
So he'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Be fine for the Big East tournament. But St. John's, man, I realized I learned this last week.
Well,
that Rick Pitino's got a legit squad there.
Yeah,
and you saw that on Saturday.
Well, I mean, yeah, they. I think he's done a great job of the message. I think
he can coach.
The last time wasn't I on with you the last time where he sat down and told him you guys got like the tournament and
yeah, he had the hourglass in turn. He said that's how quick your season's going to go.
I think that he did a great job of sending that message to those guys, and you know they've done a great job of turning St. John's around, because St. John's, we haven't really talked about them since 90, early 2000.
Yep. It's when the Big East was the Big East.
Yeah, so like they've done a great job of making St. John's and putting them back on the map, you know, back to a powerhouse, back to a team that people think about. You know, when you think about the original Blue Bloods of basketball, St. John's name come up.
Yep.
And this group of guys have made it cool to go to St. John's again, you know. So they'll be remembered for this, whether they win it all or not. You know, all the fans and the fan bases and around the nation, you know, it's like, all right, it's nice to see St. John's back in that light.
We had a guy here, a producer, last year who was at who was finishing up at Ohio State. I think he works at St. John's right now, for their basketball team, and does digital media. He was a producer.
He works for the women's team.
He works for the women's team.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb. No.
Or Caleb Blake.
Caleb Blake.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Blake at St. John's?
Yeah, he's at St. John's right now.
He does like social media and photography for the women's team up there.
He can't beat me in Papa Shot, so.
Please.
You took a bad L to Jacob Reimer over the weekend.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That's all right.
It was terrible.
Yeah, we have
Tyus takes a lot of L's out there on the Papa Shot.
I don't, but man, Jacob was, listen, the kid was like Steph Curry the other day. I couldn't beat him.
Did you? So you watched did you watch any of the All-Star thing?
So listen,
Saturday or Sunday?
So what I found out last night was there was two camps. Last night, there was two things going on that you had to pick one. You can't do both.
Sure.
You're either watching the Saturday Night Live, or you were watching the All-Star, NBA All-Star game.
Did you find yourself, Baker, in either camp?
So I was watching the Daytona 500, and then as that went off, I flipped over to Saturday Night Live.
So he's not in that camp. I wasn't in that camp either.
Saturday Night Live.
Okay, he went to it after the Daytona 500. I watched Super Troopers because I didn't feel like doing sports after Ohio State lost to Michigan. I was like, I'm out. And I wasn't interested in Saturday Night Live because when I clicked in, and this was like the third or fourth time they'd tried that Domingo sketch where you have bridesmaids or something and they're singing about infidelities of the bride. And I'm like, I've seen this skit 5 times. I'm good. So I clicked out. So Super Troopers was on my television.
A lot of people loved it. I'm just
good. I hope so.
I have no idea.
Not trying to yuck anybody's yum.
But I was on the
NBA All-Star game.
NBA All-Star game camp because I wanted to see this new format. And I'm with Draymond Green. It's not good.
It stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The forced tournament style thing where
but then Charles Barkley also made a great point as well. It's Draymond's era generation that made it, that watered the game.
That's true.
So
it's those players that are at fault for it.
Yeah.
Like you saw this. The only thing I saw from Saturday was the social media reaction to Victor Wembanyama and Chris Paul trying to hack the skills competition.
Oh, that was brilliant. They should have let that go.
They didn't. So you had Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell win the thing. The Wemby Chris Paul thing, I was like, this is why nobody takes it seriously, because it's stupid. Similar things have been said about other all-star events. This is stupid. It's silly. No one takes it seriously.
Yes.
In Canada, Saturday at 8 o'clock, in 9 seconds, you saw how serious they took that.
Oh boy!
It's funny.
Even before they had the face-off,
you know what?
You saw Georgia St. Pierre out there cheering on the Canadian, or trying to rile up the Canadian fans. They booed Michelle Kwan, who's an American Olympic legend. They booed the national anthem at the Rogers Center. Like, this was as good of an atmosphere as you'll find in sport.
Well, Eric, clearly they listen to 97.1 The Fan, Bishop and Friends that you can catch every day from 9 to noon right here on 97.1 The Fan. But anyways.
And the podcast
afterwards. And you can download with your podcast wherever you get your podcast. Just search up Bishop and Friends and you'll see a picture of Bo. And I think he might have with you the friends.
No, it's just Bo.
Oh, it's just Bo.
Bo's picture.
Okay, whatever. Anyway. I got to work on that.
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Same thing with the Buckeye show, which you can also catch 6 to 8 here on 97.1 The Fan. But anyways, clearly they listen to this show because I said, do they fight? Do they fight in these things? And y'all said, I don't really know. You said, yes.
I told you they let him go.
You said they let him go, but it wasn't a definitive answer because y'all was like, in the Olympics, if you fight, you get kicked out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I don't know. Well,
they let him go.
Well, they said, Tyus, don't you worry. We're going to show you what happened.
I thought they would toe the line. I thought while they would let him go, it wouldn't be prolonged.
No.
But within 9 seconds, there were already 3 fights. I don't think you want to get in between it, but I think you want to make sure that players don't seriously injure one another. But you had both Kachucks get into scraps. I mean, the puck hadn't even dropped. There were 2 fights in the first 3 seconds. There were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. But the important thing from that game is Team USA gets a 3-1 win over Team Canada, plays 40 minutes of shutout hockey against a very, very good Canadian attack, and now advances to Thursday's final against probably Canada. I know Canada and Finland play today at 1 o'clock. Canada and Finland, 1 o'clock tonight. You have USA and Sweden for.
I believe they're all tied. Right now, so it's the USA has 6 points, and I believe everybody else has 2.
USA,
so
number 1.
USA.
So
USA.
Canada and Finland play at 1 today, and then Sweden and the United States play this evening. So if Canada or Sweden would win in regulation, I think Finland actually has 1 point. I think Sweden and Canada are tied with 2. So if Canada or Sweden wins in regulation today, they'll play the United States on Thursday.
Feels like for Team America, it's sweep the leg.
Who do you want to see them play?
I mean, you've got to want a rematch with Canada, right?
You do.
You want to see that? You want to see the fights?
I mean,
it'll be in Boston.
I don't think you'll get the fights this time. I mean, maybe
why not?
Maybe you will. But
look at that.
It's on SportsCenter. There is professional hockey on SportsCenter.
I always wanted to drop the gloves. Drop the gloves.
Who says we can't make that happen?
Let's bring back a Tyus tries. We have you and Jody get out on the ice and
drop the gloves. Let's see. You got to hold that on her back.
You got to, You got to at least try to grab the collar. So Baker,
you talk about you thought they would toe the line. They kind of did. They got the 3 out of the way. They got it out of their system, and then they played a physical, really good hockey game after that. The first 9 seconds were crazy, but after that, it was quality, some of the best in the world hockey.
Is this Four Nations better than?
Yes. I don't even care what you were going to say. This is how the NHL should handle its All-Star festivities.
What about the rest of the
world?
Organizations?
You mean the rest?
Associations, NBA, NFL, MLB.
I think NFL is not changing from this nonsense that they're doing.
So NBA and NFL is nonsense. The two most popular sports All-Star games.
Their All-Star games are nonsense, yes.
Would the NBA take the 2 or 3 week break to do a tournament like this? And would the players...
Yeah, get rid of the in-season one that you got.
Yeah,
can't
get rid of that
anyway.
one. It's sponsored by Emirates.
But here's the thing. Would they be as into it as these hockey players are? And maybe we're seeing a little more with these hockey guys because they haven't done this in 9 years, best on best like this in the world. But for some reason, when the hockey players pull their country's jersey over top their head, it means more to them, it seems like, than any other sport.
That's not fair because in the Olympics, the U.S. basketball team takes it very seriously.
So maybe you do something similar with the NBA. You play Team America, Team Canada.
My thing is
Team Serbia.
The thing is, do you think moving the NBA All-Star game, like maybe make it to the end of the season because maybe they're thinking like we still got a whole nother 40 games to play or whatever it is. 30
I think
games
it's
to
always
play.
served as a good break.
I understand
so players
that.
can get their bodies right. So I don't think you need to do it.
But I think that they're thinking like I need to save myself for the rest of the season to where if it was at the end, maybe that's not the case. Because this is the thing. After the season's over, you get more competitive games at Lifetime Fitness than you will in the All-Star break. Like, they'll take a pickup game more seriously than they take the All-Star break.
Tyvis, the NHL, I would argue, is way more physical and taxing on your body than the NBA.
I agree
and
with
they're
you.
they're not holding back at all.
Are you calling these athletes soft?
No, I'm not calling anyone soft. I'm just saying that's not a good excuse. That would they play in the middle of the year? Would they be saving their body? These guys sure as heck aren't.
It's a fair argument. It's two different mindsets.
Thank you.
They coddle the NBA. These guys, they coddle them.
Does feel like the NBA
you get rest days.
To Charles Barkley's point, the NBA and the players have done the job of coddling themselves.
Yeah.
Over a span of 20 years.
It's a players' league over there.
Yeah,
players' league.
Congratulations to Mac McClung again, who I didn't realize was on the Orlando Magic's G League squad for making it the three-peat in the dunk contest.
We got to see a three-peat. You know, the Chiefs couldn't do it.
If they don't care, we're not going to.
Well, they claim, they all tweeted out like it's Jai and Aaron, not Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine and Giannis all said, let's get into it next year, which I feel like they say that every year. So,
yeah. Every year they say
the best dunkers don't dunk.
Every year they say that about the All-Star thing.
Matt McClung, he may be a circus show, but that's a hell of a circus.
You know what I like about Matt McClung? He makes his dunks on the first try every time. Everybody else be missing. You could tell that's all he threw. Boom, one time.
So Baker and I watched Team USA, Team Canada. So did a lot of you. We'll discuss that in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd taste the 2 sweet but tiny tomatoes you grew all by yourself. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when you're riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive on your way to the store for a pack of normal-sized tomatoes. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without getting your hands dirty. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Factory direct is really pretty simple. The factories sell it directly to the consumer. I mean, we build it. There's nothing that anybody else does. We have stations where everybody touches the window. Everyone sees what's going on. So if there's an issue, we catch it as it's going down the line. That's probably the biggest thing, is the ability to make sure what goes out the door is what I want to go out the door.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon.
Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter.
Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up Monday. The U.S.-Canada Four Nations Faceoff game broadcast averaged 4.4 million viewers in the U.S. It peaked at 5.2 million. The number makes it the most viewed non-Stanley Cup final hockey broadcast since 2019. It's a 369% bounce from NHL on ABC's average viewership this season. That win by Team USA puts them into Thursday's final. That'll be in Boston at 8 o'clock at the TD Garden.
So it should be better than that. It should be more. Seeing that is...
If it's a rematch of USA-Canada...
I guess that you got a point there.
You have to have the villain, right?
Yeah.
And for the United... And even in Canada, Team USA, they're the villain of this tournament.
That's what I'm about to say.
Everybody's pretty apathetic to Sweden and Finland.
After that first game, I think it's very likely that everybody would tune in again to see how it ends between those two.
I don't know if you'll get the same numbers Thursday night, though, as you did on Saturday,
Probably
even if
not.
it's the rematch.
Is it because of the Thursday?
Yeah, and you're not, there was so much anticipation. USA-Canada, it hadn't happened in 9 years and all of that. So I don't think on a Thursday you're going to get the numbers. It's that's pretty good for the NHL, and to think that they got these numbers at a time when you would have had an all-star game when you wouldn't have gotten nearly this amount of attention.
So Jake Gensel had the first goal for Team USA in their win against Canada. I think he had both of them, actually. He had 2 of the 3 for Team USA. Zack Werenski was given an assist on Gensel's first goal of the night, but he wasn't on the ice for that goal. I got this nugget from Jeff Swoboda, who covers the Blue Jackets. His -1 rating was from Saturday. He came off the ice with 10 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Gensel scored at 10 minutes and 15 seconds. So Werenski getting a point despite not being on the ice. Pretty cool, I thought.
And he and Gensel.
How is that possible?
If you assist on the shot, or if you assist on the play that leads to the goal, and then your shift's over, you still did the work.
Gensel and Werenski leading the Four Nations tournament so far with 4 points apiece.
I did a complete 180 Saturday on how I felt about Werenski playing in the Four Nations. It instilled on me such patriotic pride to see Team USA, to hear the Star-Spangled Banner get booed in Canada. Oh, Canada's a wonderful national anthem, but it's got nothing on the Stars and Stripes. And so I thought to myself, I get it. I absolutely get it, and I apologize to Zack Werenski for at any point saying he should not have played in that.
Look at this.
Played in this.
Look at this.
For anybody who's ever put on a pair of skates, has probably wanted to play in something similar like this for their country. And he's getting the opportunity to do so. So props to him. And also to all you haters who said he was slow on that first goal by Connor McDavid. He got clocked at 22.5 miles per hour.
That's rolling.
That's really, really fast.
Yeah.
He's one of the fastest skaters on the planet.
So Connor McDavid,
when you get him at top speed,
I think they said at one point
Nathan McKinnon, I think, is faster than McDavid. But that's it.
I think at one point they clocked McDavid in that game at 24.1 miles an hour skating, which is, I've seen at the Jackets games, they have on the board fastest skaters throughout the night and who reached the top speed. Mm-hmm. The fastest I think I've seen is like 22.1 this year, and they had McDavid at 24.1 miles an hour.
Super fast.
I don't think
that's insane.
McKinnon's fast. I don't know if he's as fast as McDavid when they let it out. But That's what made that game so great. The U.S. team is so deep
24?
and so physical, and that Canadian team has so much skill at their top
Connor
end.
McDavid be rolling like that?
That's why he's the best in the world.
And I swear it don't look like. I got to see this live.
Well, you're going to get to because
Gotta see it live.
I'm pretty sure you and I will be down on campus for the Stadium Series game with the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings.
Well, McDavid won't be.
No,
there,
he won't be.
unfortunately.
Oh, you got to see Connor McDavid live. Absolutely.
Period. I just need to see.
You got to see Nathan McKinnon live. You got to see
I'm
all
used
of this
to-
live. Absolutely.
As a former ex-football player.
Just say former football player, man.
Whatever. As a former football player.
X just has such a negative connotation on it, I think.
I'm an ex-athlete.
You're an athlete, man. You're always going to be an athlete.
As a former football player, I watched guys, because, in practice, you get the little thing, your little GPS that tells you how fast people be rolling. So I've seen the 21s. I've ran 21. I've seen 22s and things like that. 24, I've never heard. Nobody in the NFL, I don't think, has come close to 24. Maybe 23, but 24? So to see that on skates, like, he is flying, and I have to see that.
All right, so they don't play the Oilers anymore this season.
Next year is on my calendar.
I would mark it down in case Edmonton's ever in Columbus.
He might get traded to Columbus.
Reese, your thing about seeing Zack Werenski playing in that and how you flipped your thoughts on that. The only thing I could think watching that game the other night, other than how great it was, man, in 2 years or 4 years, we get to see Adam Fantilli play in this. And then if whatever in Russia and Ukraine and all that stuff goes bye-bye and the Russians are included in this, then you get to see Kirill Marchenko, maybe Igor Chinikov, maybe Dmitry Voronkov, if Ivan Provorov's still here. It got me excited thinking about Jackets that will be in this thing in the future.
The one thing for Russia is you've got to get out of Ukraine.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's the reason they're not a part of this.
That's why they're
right
not.
now.
That's why they're not part of this. There's
World
got to be
peace.
a ceasefire. You've not got to be you cannot be an aggressor as a country and participate in these types of things. So if you want to do a ceasefire, please.
Is this
and actually stick to it this time?
Is this an every year thing?
No, this will be every 6.
So it's going to be an every 2-year thing where they're doing tournaments. So next season, or no, is it 26? There will be whatever.
I think 26, but
it'll be the Olympics. So the NHL players are going to be back into the
okay.
Olympics, and then 2 years after that, they'll do another 4 nations.
I got you.
And then 2 years after that, it'll be
So
the
we'll
Olympics
have
again.
some theme,
some
of this.
form of this,
Yeah,
correct?
but every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Okay,
which is amazing.
I like that.
For the Blue Jackets, they return to Nationwide Arena this coming Saturday, again hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll talk to Dylan Tyrer, who works for the Blue Jackets radio network, coming up at 10:30. CBJ in a wild card fight. And Tyus, you will be live and in living color for them when they host the Detroit Red Wings on March 1st at Ohio Stadium. The missed opportunity for Bruce Thornton, I said at the beginning of the show, that's gonna haunt him for a long time. But for this basketball Buckeyes squad against Michigan, I went into it thinking that they weren't going to beat the Wolverines because I think Michigan's the best team, one of the best teams in the Big Ten. And with those two legit 7-footers in Wolf and Golden, that's how you can make a deep tournament run. Those expectations just can't be there for this Ohio State squad, who fall now to 7-8 in conference play. This is the team.
I hate to tell you, I was on the other side.
I know.
Because I'm just an optimistic person.
You are always positive.
I figure, at some point, you have to figure out a way to be successful against 7-footers. And I thought,
but if you don't have the pieces
I thought the rivalry would play into it. Like guys, would play above
did, Tyvis. They went into the half with a 7-point deficit, and they fought their asses off in the second half.
I'm not saying that I'm mad at the way that they played at all.
I'm not either.
I applaud it. It literally came down to a wide open Bruce Thornton layup that he just shorted. That's all. Like I'm not going to hang my hat on that. I was proud of the way that this team fought. The one thing I say about this team, the difference between this team and the teams for the past couple of years is what the couple of years ago or last year, they lay down. Like, go ahead, do what you want.
Yeah.
We ain't even about to fight to come back. Go ahead. It's been one of those. With this Jake Diebler team, they got some pride about themselves to where even though they might be down, they find a way to climb back in. It's been so many times at halftime, I was like, oh, they lost. This game's over with. And then I come back and check, and it's like, oh, it's a 1-point game or something like that. So I appreciate that. That's what makes me really root for this team. And I want them to figure out a way to be successful. Like, you can't grow guys overnight. The height is what it is. But I'm telling you, one of the best rebounders of all time, Dennis Rodman, was like 6'9". So it's an effort and attitude thing. And guys got to just take that serious. Like, people got to carve their role out and stick to their role. Like, Sean Stewart, to me, he figured out, like, I'm just going to be a rebounder. Like, which is why he gets 10.
Do you think he thought of that when he came to Ohio State?
No.
Right?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you got to accept what your role is. Like, right now, this team needs guys that can rebound. You can carve out, you can play way more minutes if you can keep grabbing rebounds, because that's the one thing that we're not good at. And if guys are serious about this and want to keep playing and be on that court and contributing to wins, carve the rebound and roll out. You can get the ball and go back up on the offensive rebound. You can get your shots off, too.
Scarlet and gray, maize and blue. The differences are everywhere. But Dusty May and Jake Diebler agreed on one thing. I'll tell you what it was next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Are you looking for a new ride? And do you want the best experience and service in the city? Yes? Good. Go see my guys at Jermaine Lexus. The all-new 2025 TX is back in stock and arriving daily. Plus, they've got great 42-month leases for the 2025 NX350 all-wheel drive. It started $399 a month. I have been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please do stop in. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations, Dublin, Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is the place to be for all the basketball action. Watch every game at once with over 50 feet of video wall and more than 30 TVs. Endless chances to win big. Show off your jump shot in our King of the Court drawings or create your perfect bracket for a shot at Penn Cash. Enjoy food and bucket specials all tournament long. Guarantee your spot. Reserve a table now at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Plus, no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months, people. And if you already have a price from another company, Universal Windows Direct will beat it. So you know you're getting the best deal around.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You'll find low prices on thousands of items. The yellow and red tags mean you'll save big on sparkling ice water, Kroger brand chips, and so much more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Rothman and Ice.
The tumbling after Michigan is what tapped into a different gear for a team that needed a shot to the gut to feel like they had to protect someone.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed and trust. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk is here to get you what you need the moment you need it. We'll help you plan your project, calculate your materials, and pivot when your job takes an unexpected turn. And with our pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, you have what you need to tackle your job and be back on the job in no time. Just visit us at the Pro Desk. Lowe's knows pros. We help. You save.
This Black History Month, National University honors those who have broken barriers and paved the way for future generations. If you're a parent and a professional, a dreamer and a doer, NU is here to support you with flexible online classes and career-focused resources, so you can earn your degree while balancing work, family, and everything in between. Visit nu.edu to learn more. That's nu.edu.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
So the basketball Buckeyes fell to Michigan 86-83 yesterday at the Shot. You might be thinking, well, that's okay. Ohio State's going to get Michigan one more time before the Big Ten tournament. I'm sorry if you feel that way or if you think that. Because it's the only time this season, the regular season, Ohio State will face Michigan. If you want the Wolverines again, which I think a lot of Ohio State fans do.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that game again. It would potentially be in the Big Ten tournament. Because they only played once this season, and that stinks. Every year, Ohio State should do two things. Play a game at Mackey Arena and play Michigan home and home. Make it a protected rivalry moving forward. I don't need to see Washington.
Why not?
Some years you can. Some years I don't really care. I don't really care about USC or UCLA so much as I get Michigan twice. At the Schottenstein Center and at the Chrysler Center.
Who do we play twice this year? Do you know?
That's a very good question. Off the top of my head, I see Nebraska.
Okay.
Indiana. Northwestern? No, Northwestern just once, and that's Thursday at 6:30.
That's absurd.
So Maryland, Nebraska, Indiana. That's the list. Boy, does that not inspire excitement.
It does. It leaves you with a lot to be desired. It could be better.
So says Dusty May. So says Jake Diebler, who agreed with my earlier point.
Listen, I love being a part of this game. You know, so much so that I was asking anybody that would listen to make this a doubleheader every single year when we were out in California. I know there's a lot that goes into that, but I think our fans deserve that. Both schools deserve that. And I love being in this game. This game means a lot. But again, like I said before the game, this rivalry is bigger than any kind of single storyline. It was bigger, you know, than any storyline going into this game. I think it's bigger than really any storyline coming out of this game outside of, like, let's play this game twice a year if we can make that work, because, you know, this was a great atmosphere. Our fans deserve to have this game here every single year. And I think, you know, theirs probably as well. So, but my biggest concern is for our fans. Our fans showed out. They were great. And, you know, we felt their energy, and they deserve to have this game every year, in my opinion.
That was the Shot, a stinky building at its best yesterday. And Dusty May agreed with Jake Diebler and, quote, "It's what's good for the game. It's what's good for the sport. It's what's good for our players. It's less travel. It's big for TV. It's big for our fan bases." We both agreed that even though it might not be as fun, it's a gut-wrenching preparation and anticipation for the game because of how much it means. But we can both agree that going forward, we'd like to see it happen. I don't know if we can do a quick flip next year, but we both requested that from the league. His last part concerns me a little bit from Dusty May. I don't know if we can do a quick flip next year, but we both requested that from the league. If your two alphas in your conference, Tony Petitti, are telling you in men's basketball, Ohio State and Michigan need to play a home and home, you need to listen.
But that's going to mess up the other.
I don't care.
That's going to mess up the West sides.
Don't
the
care.
West
Figure it out.
The West Coast
nope.
schools.
Doesn't matter.
They have to cater to everybody.
You absolutely do not have to cater to them. They wanted to come to this party.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the Big Ten pursued Oregon and Washington. I know there was some pursuit for UCLA and USC.
Oregon's pretty good.
Oregon's fine.
Yes.
this year. They're 18-8, 7-8 in conference play. Does that conference record sound familiar? That's Ohio State's record.
What about
USC's 14-11, 6-8 in conference play. UCLA and Mick Cronin, 19-7, 10-5 in conference play.
Oh, that's really good.
So they're sound opponents.
And what about, I don't even need to know Washington. Don't even tell me.
They didn't great.
Yeah, don't even tell me.
It's very much to the point where if I were that booster that signed that check or the biggest check for Great Osobor, I'd be like, can I have some of that back?
Yeah, it's gonna take,
and it does show you.
It's going to take some time.
Yesterday, with that game, I don't know anymore how much, Michi Johnson would have helped or aided Ohio State's second half push. I think what you had hoped for at the beginning of the season, maybe that would have come into fruition had he been with this team. I think at this point it's moot because he's just not coming back.
Yeah, no, I
think that and the Great Osobor thing show you kind of the perils of name, image, and likeness and doing deals with players that you can't put a return on an investment. There's no tangible return before you do the deal. There's we hope it works.
Well,
you told us you need this guy.
I will say that, it's like an investment on anything. You never know what it's going to be. It's a risk that you take every time. And if more players are doing those type of things or coaches are doing those type of things to where these guys aren't getting a great ROI, then you'll see those investments start to diminish a little bit. It won't be up to the magnitude that it once was. And I always kind of predicted that that's kind of how it would be. Like, I feel like we're still in the new fad of it. Like, it's cool to see this company give out $1 million to this kid or something like that. But I don't think that's something that's going to last. Has there been another Lamborghini deal? Remember Bijan Robinson got a Lamborghini deal? Like, has it been another one of those?
I don't know if Lamborghini specifically. I know Carson Beck in an interview, I think someone did with Gunnar Stockton, they listed some of Carson Beck's cars, comparing it to the one truck that Gunnar Stockton has. So I'm assuming maybe a Mercedes.
But it hasn't been like Lamborghini.
I don't know.
See,
wasn't there someone that had some kind of deal with like a NetJet type?
There were a couple of those
free flights. And
I think Jackson Dart had one with a Mississippi-based company. Dart. I'm pretty sure Quinn Ewers had one.
Yeah, see, I'm interested to see like if NetJets.
Well, they're not giving them a G5.
No, I'm just saying like I'm interested to see if they continue to keep doing that, or is this like let's just try it one time, let's see what happens, and if it's not great, then like all right, we don't have to do it no more.
And I think that was always kind of a fear with Ohio State, right? Is that the basketball program was going to be left behind in this, and all the NL dollars were going to head towards the football team. And then you have reports out there that Michi Johnson is getting $1 million to be here this year, and then he's not playing.
Yeah,
the most important time of the season. I wonder if it will make people pump the brakes a little bit on this.
How could it not? Right? To your earlier point, what was my return on that $1.5 million or $1 million check I just did? Or my business, I gave you this car and you didn't perform.
You helped his life. You improved his life.
Sure. I mean, again, this isn't a anti-NIL thing, but this is these are cautionary tales of the boosters looking at their returns and saying, I will spend my money elsewhere.
You improved his life, but did he bring you a Big Ten championship? Did he get you in the NCAA tournament? These guys didn't get where they got by making bad business deals.
It's not like he didn't play this season. He contributed to a win or two. What? He did.
It's a stretch, my friend.
He did.
It is quite the stretch you are doing as someone who purports to never
He's
stretch.
Like Gumby over there.
What? Did he not? Am I wrong? This team would be maybe 2 losses. They have 2 more losses than wins, right?
What if he was playing? How many more wins would they have?
Well, that's something that we'll never know.
Say he had 6 points in their first game against Texas.
Okay.
So
there it is. They won that game.
They won that game by 8.
Okay. There it is. See?
Would have helped having a rotation of 9 yesterday instead of 8.
I do think that's where you see it the most, right? Where your backcourt and really your guys off the bench, that just becomes so tested. And especially as Jake talked about how much energy that his guys have to focus or have to expend on those 2 gigantic human beings for Michigan. Like that just takes such a toll on your players. And to your point about effort and rebounding, they're valid points. but I would just say that you're doing so much else because of what you don't have with guys on your roster, because what you don't have with their basketball toolboxes, that I don't know if I'm focusing on effort right now. Maybe that's something I can build into next season.
Because
that's what I think all of this is right now. This is a build. The Big Ten tournament, March 12th in Indianapolis. I think that's where you can make a run. I think that loss yesterday doesn't make any of the games that follow for Ohio State starting Thursday against Northwestern must wins, but they become must not lose if you want to build momentum for a Big Ten tournament run and then build momentum for a fight.
When you look
in March.
When you look at the last,
March Madness.
What is it, 3 remaining games? They got Northwestern, USC, and who's the last?
So they got 5 remaining on the schedule. Northwestern at UCLA, at USC, against Nebraska, and then the game on the 8th is against Indiana. It's at 3:45 on CBS.
So they got 2 games in there that should be competitive. Very, you should be tested. Nebraska and UCLA.
I'd even put in USC. Indiana, I think that's Indiana's final game with Mike Woodson, so he threw up the white flag, so they probably will as well.
No, they won't. Let's get him out of here.
You think the players will play hard
get him out of here
for a coach that's gone? It'll be interesting. That's all I'll say about that game, because I can't tell you what to expect from this Ohio State team on a game-in, game-out basis.
That's the scary part about them.
What can you expect from the Cincinnati Bengals? We'll discuss that next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon.
Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter.
Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
Come cheer on the Ohio State Buckeyes men's basketball team as they take on the Northwestern Wildcats at the Shot on February 20th. Don't miss out on themed games, unforgettable fan experiences, and the ultimate Buckeye traditions. Buy your tickets and gear up for game day at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Beloved former basketball coach and educator Satch Sullinger knows you got to keep moving to stay healthy. But that's not so easy when your aching joints won't cooperate.
We still want to move and we still want to get around and we still want to be active, but we start to deteriorate the moment we quit moving.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help restore movement in stiff, aching knees, hips, shoulders, and back, using only your natural healing properties to help restore damaged joints. That's a huge positive for Satch.
It's working, and what I really like about it is there's nothing foreign put in my body. Everything that was put in my body has been taken from my body. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to live until the day I die.
Get rid of the pain and start moving again. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus and call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. Again, 208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Get ready, Columbus. The powerful and reliable 2025 Toyota Tundra SR can be yours for just $349 a month. That's right. Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Drive home in a truck built for adventure, performance, and power, all for an unbeatable price. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Visit Germain Toyota of Columbus today and experience the Tundra for yourself. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
$3,999 down, 39-month lease, plus tax, title, and fees. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. It's time for the Love Your Windows sales event. If you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. So if you need 20 windows, you only pay for 10. It's the perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. And that's not all. Universal Windows Direct is offering no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months of easy payments with 0% interest. And if you already have a price from another company, Universal Windows Direct will beat it. So you know you're getting the best deal around. Call them today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone, up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard, so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on My Plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Yesterday at the Shot, Ohio State fought back down 7 at the half against number 20 Michigan, but Bruce Thornton missed a jumper late, and the Wolverines held on for the 86-83 win. The victory gives Michigan a 1-game lead on Michigan State for the top spot in the Big Ten. As for Ohio State, Buckeyes fall to 7-8 in conference play. They'll host Northwestern Thursday night at 6:30. You can hear more from the head coach of Ohio State today at noon on the Jake Diebler Show. Also at noon on this President's Day, the 9th-ranked Ohio State women's squad hosts Iowa. Maddie Andrews will have the call over on ESPN Columbus with coverage at 11:45. On the ice tonight in Boston, Team USA plays Finland at 8 in the Four Nations Faceoff round-robin finale. The Americans are already in Thursday's final after their 3-1 win over Canada. This update sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
So on Friday, Mitchell sent us a screenshot of a social media post at 971BFS. Eagles versus Bengals roster construction. And this was Breakfast Ball on FS1. So the Mark Schlereth, Danny Parkins, Craig Carton production had Eagles and Bengals players with $50 million plus contracts, $50 million a year. Do you think Chelsea nice. Clinton? For the Eagles, it looks like they've got 7. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Mailata. If I'm counting that correctly, that's a lot of players making $50+ million a year. 50+ million in their contract total. For the Bengals, just 2, Orlando Brown and Joe Burrow.
So the funny thing is that we'll see this and they'll say, well, how is it that the Eagles are doing it? Which
Joe Burrow asked that last week when he was on with Barstool Sports. Pardon my take.
I think that's what you, because there's only really off the top of my head 2 front offices that does this, that can get away with this. And it's the Eagles and it's the Browns.
How can they get away with it, Tyvis?
Well, that's the thing. So the Eagles know how to finagle the cap. And where's Andrew Berry from? Philadelphia. So they must have taught him a way to finagle the cap.
And they gave him the secret sauce.
I mean, all they do is really just like extend it and then put the dead money there. But you have to have an owner also that's paying bonuses, like they're cutting the check for $20 million. Like, hey, you know what?
Mike Brown's not handing out those kind of slices of pie.
He is not doing that. No. He's not. It's just not going to happen. So I think that's why you see this. Or what the Browns like to do is they like to pay guys early. You see it like, okay, this guy's going to be something. Let's pay him now so we can get it out the way, because if we wait like Jamar Chase, then the price goes up. So let's hurry up and let's just get the deal done now. Like, it might be bad, it might look bad, but like in 2 years you'll be like, we got him for cheap. Like Myles Garrett, probably one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Yeah, he's like the fifth highest paid guy.
Yeah.
So like, that's because they got after David Njoku, got after him early. Denzel did it early. The safety, Delpit, they did it early. Like, so this is Cincinnati's fault for waiting until, I don't know, I wouldn't wait till a guy gets a triple crown, then try to do negotiations.
I think there's a couple differences here, too, with the Eagles. Like, the Eagles are hitting on their draft picks.
Oh,
so
that's
like
always what it comes down
Jalen
to.
Carter and Nakobe Dean and Cooper DeJean, and then you have Zach Baum, who was a special teams player who they found, and he's one of the best middle linebackers in the league
he was
now.
All-Pro this year.
They've been really awesome with their draft picks there. The other thing here is the Bengals guys are due, right? Like, they did a great job drafting T. Higgins.
Yeah, they
and
should have
Jamar
paid him
Chase.
early, though.
You're absolutely right, but they're due now. So if they would have paid them early, they'd have more guys on this list.
Right. And they still would be able to do, it wouldn't be just these two guys. And it wouldn't, I'm just saying the hit on the cap wouldn't be as high. Like, if you paid T. Higgins 2 years ago, he wouldn't be demanding the money that he's demanding currently. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you see it earlier, like you knew Jamar Chase was going to get paid. Like that, you knew Joe Burrow was going to have to get paid at some point. But yet you continue. Like, remember when Joe got paid, we were waiting because it was the offseason of him and I think Justin Herbert maybe. And we was like, well, who's going to sign first? Neither one of them want to sign first because they want more.
I believe was in there as well in that group.
Everybody's like, well, who's going to sign first? Because whoever signs first, the other one's going to demand more money. Well, it was like, well, if you'd have did it a year before, like, you know, you'd have been saving yourself maybe. I'm not saying you'd have saved yourself $100 million, but you'd have saved yourself at least $10 to $20 million.
It's the thing the Bengals walked themselves into, right? They created the mess that they're sort of in.
Correct.
Because now I don't think you can say with Joe Burrow anything's possible. Because 9-8 the last two seasons. So you need more than just Joe Burrow. And I think it's two different conversations when you talk about signing guys and their contracts and how that works with the cap and drafting and developing talent. Mm-hmm. I think what Joe Burrow is talking about right now is signing the guys that have produced for you, giving the guys what he believes they're earned. Now, he's looking at this from a player's perspective of, if I see a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, rich-ass owner, they're paying all of these guys, why can't my owner do something similar?
Well, he ain't rich like that.
But that's not a message that's getting to Joe Burrow, clearly. Because Joe's perspective is, figure it out, man. You're an NFL owner. Figure it out. And now you just can't figure it. Like, you can't just snap your fingers and all of a sudden this pie works out the way Joe Burrow and Mike Brown want it to.
How invested is Mike Brown into Cincinnati? Like, is he one of those owners that's like...
Well, they got to cross the street to get from their facility to the practice. So
that's my point. They've been
yelling about an indoor forever.
They just got the indoor.
So he's not doing himself any favors, because I would imagine he lives pretty comfortably.
So what you're saying is the Cincinnati Bengals, like the football team, is not top 5 on Mike Brown's to-do list, like top priorities.
I don't know, but
he doesn't treat it as such.
But it looks to the players that that's the case, that they've been messing around with these deals for all of these star players for long enough that now Joe Burrow's got to take matters into his own hands with this. The salary cap for the 2025 NFL year hasn't been announced yet. Tom Pelissero is reporting between $265 and $275 million for what it'll be in 2025. The NFL announced it last year at February 23rd, so that was in 2024. So something similar is likely the date for 2025. The new league year begins Wednesday, March 12th. And you put this in front of me this morning. from ESPN of NFL franchise tag candidates. Will Sam Darnold get it? Now, that could be the thought for the Minnesota Vikings, but I scrolled down to find the Cincinnati Bengals, who, interestingly enough, say T. Higgins could be tagged again. And that would put him, per projections, at $25.6 million under this franchise tag going into this season.
Well, that's a way to keep him.
Sure.
And he'd be mad, but...
He would be mad. You're probably not giving Trey Hendrickson a deal, so you're going into the last year of his contract with nothing.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, I think, just did this to Trill, but threw Mike Gesicki in there as a player that he wants to see get paid.
No, I want them to get Tyler Warren in the draft.
Well, that's one thing they could. Do you think he'll be there at, 17?
No, he would. No chance.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to hear him and Joe together. Man, that'd be nice. That would be nice.
Sure would.
I disagree as a Browns fan.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled at that prospect.
See, that's the thing.
We're just kidding.
You don't think
it would be a smart
Dill pick could stop him?
What's that?
I don't think anybody could stop him.
Grant Dill pick could stop. Listen, there's no sure things in
on an offense that would include T. Higgins, even a grumpy T. Higgins, a Jamar Chase that's going to get paid, and then Tyler Warren with Joe Burrow as your quarterback.
Oh,
good luck.
Well, listen, the Browns decided to pay some of those guys on that defense. It's time for them to, answer the call.
It's always time for the Browns.
It's always time to remind yourself that there's always next year.
Y'all sick, man.
A prominent sports book has odds on where Myles Garrett might land. We'll discuss that next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. As football winds down, college basketball is gearing up, and fans are ready to see which teams will prove they are ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get on all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 and get $100 back in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And aspiring comedian.
That's fun. What's your best joke?
All right, two windows were hanging out side by side. The first window says, "Sure is a hot day." The other one says, "A talking window."
That's pretty good, Wilson.
Bet you can't top that one.
Well, at Pella, we don't have the talking windows, but we do have the windows your friends will talk about.
Dang it, that's good.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind:
to send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas, where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on 2 different nights. Thursday, they'll be at Classics Pickerington on Stone Creek Drive from 8 to 10 p.m. Then on Friday at Pastimes in Worthington from 7 to 9.
Both events will have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
It's our President's Day sales event all month long.
This event is big. You choose your rate. 0%, 1.9%, 2.9%, and up to a full 60 months on so many new Lindsay Hondas. And no trade-in required. This deal works with 0 down. 2025 CRVs and Ridgelines. Both only $299 a month. That's $299 a month. Visit LindsayHonda.com because this February is the time to
keep more presidents in your wallet with Lindsay Honda.
See LindsayHonda.com for details.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
It's a celebration of savings at Giant Eagle. Join us for My Perks Appreciation Days on February 21st and 22nd. Earn bonus perks on groceries and gas at Giant Eagle, Market District, and GetGo. Visit gianteagle.com/appreciation for details.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
All of our local shows have been ranked in the top 10 in the country by our industry peers, except for Timmy Hall and the Buckeye Show. I was going to make a joke about it, but it's more sad than anything. Poor Timmy, the fan.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Have you ever told a friend
Oh, I'm fine.
when you really felt
Just so overwhelmed.
or sent a text
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
when you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looking at a windy and cold start to the work week out there. Today we could see winds as high as 25 miles per hour. Wind chill values will only be in the single digits later on this afternoon. A mix of clouds and sun, high 22. Tonight's low will be around 9. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
If you don't like listening to Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan. Producers, co-hosts, friends. Some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 75 years. Just friends on this President's Day edition. Eric Reeser, Tyus Powell, Ryan Baker. I'm just seeing this from Football Scoop. It looks like it was reported Sunday night. Former Tulsa head coach and Ohio State offensive coordinator Kevin Wilson staying in Oklahoma, but he'll be going to Norman to join the Sooners as an offensive analyst.
Oh, that's nice for him.
Yeah, he was their co-offensive coordinator from 2002 to 2005, and it's OC, tight ends, and fullbacks coach from 2006 to 2010.
He's not the head coach at Tulsa anymore?
No, he's now an offensive analyst at Oklahoma.
So, did he get fired from Tulsa?
That's a good question.
Because
I know now he's not at Tulsa. Tyvis,
I believe he did get let
When was the last time you thought about Tulsa football?
The last time
when they announced Kevin Wilson was going to Tulsa. Since then, you haven't paid a lick of attention, and I'm not going to start now.
What? Obviously he
You
has
ask the question, you have a computer in front of you. Google it, man.
You do know,
I'm not doing that work.
You know, I've been working here for 4 years, and
Congratulations.
I don't have a login.
Medals in the mail.
Why don't I have a login?
Because you haven't asked anybody for a login.
Yeah.
It's the simplest thing.
You should give me yours.
You want? I'll give you mine in the break.
No, I don't want.
Password 12345 exclamation point.
Don't do that. You'll get in trouble. Don't share passwords. Yeah, Tulsa did not have a good year last year. They went, looks like 3-9.
Okay.
So there was talk that Kevin Wilson could be coming back here for the OC job and maybe even as an analyst, but it looks like he's going to go to Oklahoma.
Well, the offense did well with him, so therefore I wouldn't have been opposed to him. Even as an offensive analyst, you know, he's a great offensive mind, obviously. And people, I'm asking the questions that the people in the car want to know.
About Tulsa?
Yeah.
Tyvis, I don't think there's a single person in the car right now that has a question about Tulsa football.
No, it was about Kevin Wilson, which had to do with Tulsa.
If he's at Oklahoma right now, I think they can put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4.
Well, Chip Kelly decided to step down just to take go be an OC. So,
are you talking about from UCLA to Columbus or from Columbus to Las Vegas?
No, from UCLA to Columbus.
I don't think he viewed it as a step down. I think he viewed it as a get the hell out.
I'm just saying.
I got the hell out.
There's been head coaches that's like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, I'm going to go be a coordinator. Jeff Hafley also, just 2 examples.
I wonder with Chip, if it was more of the college game is disinteresting to me, or the college football.
For him going to the NFL?
Yeah.
No, I just think that.
Well, I mean, from UCLA to Columbus, and then obviously he just wants to coach football, and the Raiders were going to give him double what he was making in Columbus. So
yes,
you're uninterested in doing the head coaching CEO stuff at UCLA.
Yeah, the NIL
so you come to Columbus because Ryan Day's your buddy, and you're able to do what he did with this Buckeye team that won a national championship. And then here comes Tom Brady and Pete Carroll calling with
I think
double what you were making. Anybody takes that. Everybody takes that.
I mean, when you look at Chip Kelly's situation at UCLA, they weren't a good football team. They weren't doing great. I don't know how great they were in recruiting and all those things, but you talk about all the things that a head coach has to deal with, with the NIL, with the transfer portal and all those things. And I think that he was just over that. I think to him, he's old school. It's like, listen, I just want to coach football. Like, I don't really want to do all that other stuff. I'm a great offensive mind. I want to get guys, put guys in position, scheme plays open, players open, things like that. And I think when you looked at Ohio State, two things. One, you go back to that role to where, like, I'm not the guy that has to worry about all that stuff. That's Ryan's job.
I'm meeting with parents.
Yeah, I could care less about just tell me who I got on offense and let me figure out what I need to do. So I think that was of the mind. And then on top of that, you looked at that roster, you was like, man, I could win a natty with that roster, with that talent over there. So why would I not? That's the one. I don't think he's won a natty in college.
Chip?
Yeah. No. He got to it and he lost. So, yeah, this was an opportunity for him to cash in and, like, let me at least get a natty. And when you did that and you seen an NFL team probably was like, look at that. Look at what he's able to draw with that talent. Then we can have similar talent of that ilk. We can get players like that.
Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah, all these
Las
guys.
Vegas.
Yeah, you scheme G. Scott wide open in that Rose Bowl game. Maybe you can get Brock Bowers like that to be.
Yeah, maybe he could play pretty well in the NFL.
Yeah, so I think that, and then, we're going to double your salary. Absolutely. So I think that played a part into the mindset of Chip Kelly and to why he is where he is.
I always appreciate interaction on the YouTube chat and on social media at 971BFS. Dink has something that I think underscores the importance of listening. Tyvis comparing the Browns to the Eagles is like comparing a Corvette to a rusted-out Cavalier. The only comparison that Tyvis was making about the Browns to the Eagles is ownership's ability to pay.
That's it.
That's it. That's the only thing that those two organizations have in common. That was the only comparison Tyvis was making to the Browns and the Philadelphia Eagles, because that's where the comparisons end. You've got ownership that's willing to spend.
Yeah.
One team wins a lot because they can draft, develop, and they can make really smart decisions with players and contracts. The other's the Cleveland Browns.
That's it. As far as on the field production, there's no
listening is important.
There's no correlation to the success of the team, the product that's on the field. There's no correlation. But all I was saying was that they're able to have multiple guys with big contracts because they know how to draw up a contract, I should say. They know when to do it, how to do it. That's it. Outside of that, that's about it.
I had teased landing spots for Myles Garrett, so I will deliver that unto you now. DraftKings has favorites at where the Browns are going to send their prized pass rusher. And make no mistake about it, the Browns should absolutely trade Myles Garrett.
The Tennessee Titans.
I don't have them on this one.
That's where I would send them.
The odds, the favorite right now are the Washington Commanders at plus 300. The Philadelphia Eagles are next at plus 450. The Browns, 5-1. The Bills, plus 550. The Lions and the Bears next.
I'd send them to the NFC.
I would too. I see the Lions, and there was ESPN had that conversation earlier. And I said, well, that was kind of your opportunity when they took Zadarius off your hands.
Yes.
If you had put Myles in that position, then the return on that would have been greater.
Correct.
I wish they had done it then.
No, you don't.
I do. I do.
At that point.
I absolutely do. At that point, the season was lost.
Was it? I don't remember what the record was. Jameis probably had just won the Pittsburgh game, and they probably was like, "Oh,
you're doing the age old thing that Browns fans do, and talk yourself. Well, if they can win this game and that game and then this game, there's a chance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, excuse me for being optimistic.
That is insanity.
No, it's optimistic.
It's pretty crazy. Especially given the track record.
What is this negative Nancy stuff y'all got
years of being a Cleveland Browns fan.
Every time we talk about the Browns, y'all got to be negative.
Realistic, Tyvis. That's all it is. There's a track record of my life that I've seen. It's just the truth.
You know nothing is impossible, right?
I'd personally like the Browns to send Myles Garrett to Chicago because the Bears have the 10th overall pick.
No, if I'm the Browns,
that's where it starts. Chicago, you want Miles? It starts with number 10.
Let me hear those top 3 picks plus landing spots.
Landing spots. So the Commanders plus 300, but their pick's way too far in the first round. I have no interest there. Eagles plus 450. They have the 32nd pick. Why? They just won the Super Bowl. Browns, he's not staying in Cleveland. Bills plus 550. They've also got a low or a high 20 pick because AFC divisional.
You know what the sick thing is that a lot of people, like a lot of Browns fans, believe that you should trade them to the team that's like closest to the beginning of the draft, like Titans, Patriots.
That's what I want.
Exactly. But why would that? Only teams that's going to trade for Myles Garrett is teams that feel like they're a Myles Garrett piece away.
So wouldn't the Bears, new head coach, rookie quarterback, they've done, I think, a pretty good job acquiring pieces in the offseason offensively.
They got Montez Sweat.
That'd be a pretty good fit. Add him on that defensive line. Because you're looking, if you're the Bears.
Have you seen their offensive line?
What's bad?
Okay, so you're going to trade away our first-round pick.
This is what I want.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Okay, fine.
We got bigger fish to fry.
That's fine.
Our offensive line stinks.
Just of these teams I'm looking at.
I don't care if you go back and get Marty Schottenheimer. You ain't getting it without that offensive line.
But your NFC point, I think, is the best one. Just send him to an NFC contender.
I would do that.
Go away.
But
do it.
Helps him with his Super Bowl aspirations because any team can go from worst to first over there.
It's easier.
You don't have to worry about going through Patty Burrow, Lamar, or Josh Allen.
In Cleveland. CBS Sports' Dennis Dodd had a very interesting article about the possibility of Jeremiah Smith challenging NFL rules that a player must be 3 years removed from high school to be eligible for the draft. Jeremiah Smith goes out and has a similar season in 2025 to one he had in 2024.
What do you think he is? Maurice Claret? No, it's not happening. Nope, it's not happening. The NFL's not backing it. If you listen to Maurice talk about it, he'll say that.
He'll say you shouldn't.
He said leave it alone.
It's true.
He didn't realize that the NFL had these things called lawyers that's got long money. So it'll be something that you're just not going to win. Just do the 3 years. It's not even worth going to fight and argue over that. Just do 3 years.
This is coming, though. Again, we're going to see this happen again. I hope it's not with Jeremiah.
He can sit out his 3rd year.
But this is going to happen again very soon.
It ain't
right?
They're not gonna win that.
It does feel like if it would be best for him to do all 3 in college and then go as the number 1 pick. Your idea that he could sit out is nonsense, I think.
Jamar Chase did it.
Well, yeah, but that was during COVID.
So
these are very different times, Tybus. I especially think with as galvanized and motivated as Ohio State and their collective dealings are, it'll be just fine with Jeremiah.
Yeah, they got insurance policies.
He'll be all right.
That's very good now. So,
he already had one. Most freshmen they talked about that in this article. Most freshmen can't get those insurance policies for their future NFL earnings because they don't really have a judge on that. But Jeremiah is obviously just different. He's one of the few that's been able to get that. So if Jeremiah walks today and trips on the curb and gets hit by a car, he's got an insurance policy coming his way.
So he'll be playing 3 years.
Yeah, but I also think like this kind of article from Dennis Dodd is still it's the part of silly season that makes it what it is. That makes this time between the Super Bowl and the Combine and then the draft why you would call it silly season. Because it's a silly idea.
The Combine
starts next Monday. You'll have 15 Buckeyes in Indianapolis for the Scouting Combine.
Man, I remember.
And then the end of April, they'll have the draft in Green Bay.
When you get to the Combine, the only thing you think about is getting done with the Combine. It's crazy.
You spend so much time.
You spend your entire life watching it like, I can't wait till I get to the Combine. You get to the Combine and like, I can't wait till this is over.
What was your first interaction when you got to the Combine? Like, what was the very first thing? As soon as you touched down in Indianapolis, what was the first thing you did?
I got to the stadium or wherever we were staying, because it's like a train station or something like that, whatever the heck it is. And it was funny because obviously the DBs go last. So I'm seeing like the Joeys, I see the Zeeks, because I think they were going either the day I got there or the day after I got there, they were up. So just seeing those guys and some of the guys that I trained with and stuff like that, it was pretty cool. I don't even remember who I roomed with, but I just remember you don't get a lot of sleep. I do remember that. Your first night there, you got like a full.
Is it because you're busy or is it because you can't sleep?
It's because you're busy. So at nighttime, you meet with teams and stuff like that. And, like if you don't have a formal meeting, some days you have formal meetings, formal interviews where you're going to meet. Like me, I had a formal interview with the Denver Broncos where you have a scheduled time during the day. Like 3 p.m., you got to meet with the Denver Broncos. And you walk in there, and it's the coach, the general manager, maybe the president, all those guys. And then they show your film. They talk to you about your film. Hey, Tyus, walk us through this. Let us know what you did. Draw up your defense. Like, you got those things. And that's pretty much all day. But then you have informal meetings where they're like, you're out in the room and a scout walks up to you, hey, come talk to me for a second. And you do those. So it's like that all day long. Then I think you had a cutoff time at like 11:30.
In the PM.
And then they tell you the first night you have a 4 a.m. drug test. So you got to get up and pee at 4 in the morning.
I can see why you wanted to get the hell out of there.
So then it's like
upon arrival.
Then it's like 6 a.m. You got like breakfast, and then you got to get ready to do your bench press. Then you got to do your measurables. So it's like you really don't get a lot of sleep.
We'll do some hockey talk with Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network, coming up in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon. Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter. Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
Save a good deal more at Meijer with bulk Gala, Fuji, or Pink Lady apples, just 99 cents a pound. Plus, during the 7 for $7 sale, you pay $1 each when you mix or match any 7 or more on participating items, like Meijer frozen vegetables, Bush's beans, Red Gold canned tomatoes, Meijer facial tissue, and Powerade sports drink. Getting more for your money with the Meijer 7 for 7 sale. Now that's the good life. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Hey, it's Anthony. I got to tell you, when you don't have the support you need, it affects everything. Feet, knees, hips, back, even your mood. I finally went to the Good Feet store, and once I was personally fitted for my arch supports, I felt a ton better. I will never wear another pair of shoes again without sliding in my personally fit Good Feet arch supports. That's because they help me eliminate my foot pain. It's such a good feeling knowing that I can be on my feet and not worrying about I'm going to wake up with low back pain or feel a weakness somewhere. I trust the Good Feet store because for more than 30 years, they've helped thousands of people just like me get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. They take pleasure in that. And it's their personal 3-step system designed to support, balance, and strengthen your feet that guides them into their ideal position. I'm the proof. I wear them every day, even when I'm biking at the gym. So go in, take the free test walk at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
An all-friends show today. Eric Reeser, Tyus Powell, Ryan Baker. We go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Bring on Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network. CBJ are off for another couple of days. They'll return from the Four Nations Faceoff break Saturday against the Chicago Blackhawks. But, Dylan, all eyes kind of look to March 1st. At Ohio Stadium, the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings. Has it started to bubble for you, the anticipation for that NHL Stadium Series game?
Yeah, it definitely has. Thanks for having me on, guys, by the way. Excited to talk about this. But we went over there a couple of weeks ago for kind of an introductory press conference and got a look at, Ohio Stadium. And obviously I've seen it before. I've been over there. I've worked over there before. But, thinking about a hockey game taking place in there is a different beast. And the excitement from the NHL and Ohio State and the city of Columbus over it really started to get me excited about it. Of course, I've been looking forward to it ever since they announced they were going to do it. The anticipation's been building. But, yeah, now that plans are coming together and, we're thinking about our broadcast and what that's going to be like over there. And, what the rink might look like and what the setup for the concerts might look like. It is super real, and I cannot wait for March 1st.
Dylan, can you kind of give fans a sense of exactly what your broadcast is going to look like and anything you guys have leading up to that date, which it's next Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to have some content coming out leading up to it. We're going to have an anticipatory show in addition to our usual Inside Edge that'll talk about the game and preview the game and all that stuff, and that'll air over your guys' airwaves. We're going to have an extended version of our broadcast, so we'll have a little bit longer of a pregame show the day of, which should coincide with some stuff that you guys are going to do. So I think it's all very, very exciting stuff, and it's meaningful hockey is really what it comes down to, right? So we're going to have all this stuff hyping up the game, and the game itself is meaningful hockey because you've got the Blue Jackets and the Red Wings in the heart of the playoff race right now. So these games usually happen a little bit earlier in the year, but because of the way it worked out with the Four Nations Faceoff, this one gets pushed back to March 1st. And it works out perfectly because you're getting an awesome atmosphere, an awesome stadium over at the Shoe, and then you're getting a hockey game that should match all of that, just like we are seeing at the Four Nations Faceoff, by the way. So the pomp and circumstance and the flair right now in the NHL is pretty awesome.
It's funny that you bring up the Four Nation. We were watching it yesterday, and how did you feel about the 3 fights in 9 seconds? Was that something that you were anticipating? Do you think that's great? Are you not a fan of it? What was your thoughts?
Oh, man, I loved it. I was not anticipating that whatsoever. In the minute they dropped the gloves right off the opening faceoff, I lost my mind. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, one Tkachuk brother just went, and the other one's on the ice. I think they're going to do it again. And that's exactly what they did moments later. That was very cool. And then the last one wasn't necessarily as scripted, it seemed like, with JT Miller going at it with Colton Parayko, but hey, that was pretty awesome too. So you got to credit all three of those guys for setting the tone and really getting people interested right off the drop of the puck, and credit those guys for Team Canada too for standing in there. But it was a lot of fun. I loved that game. That was one of the better, most exciting, energy-charged hockey games I've ever watched.
Speaking with Dylan Tyrer on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He is the pre- and post-game host on the Blue Jackets radio network. And Dylan, yeah, it was great to see that on Saturday night. But this Four Nations tournament has been so good from the start, and the players have been so invested in it, and these games have been so physical. It's been like watching Stanley Cup playoff hockey. What is it about hockey players and the hockey culture that they love putting on their country's jerseys?
Well, I mean, I think you're excited to do that in any sport, right? Like, people get up for the Olympics every 4 years, do the Winter Olympics every 4 years, and I just think it's awesome. But I think really the buildup to what we're seeing right now is the fact that they haven't done best-on-best international hockey like this since the World Cup of Hockey back in 2016. So it's been almost 10 years since they've done it. So you think about this new generation of players that have entered the NHL, and they've never had the chance to do it. Like, of course, Sidney Crosby, Brad Marchand, those guys have done it. They're veterans in the National Hockey League. They were a part of all that, 9-10 years ago. But you've got the new generation of Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Zack Werenski representing for the Blue Jackets. These guys have never done best-on-best like this at the international level when it comes to being an NHL player. Of course, they've played in World Junior Championships, but you're essentially doing that before you become a pro. So I think everything for those guys was building to this. It's their first taste of international hockey. You've got the added hype of everybody saying this might be the best Team USA ever. So I think those guys want to live up to it. And that's definitely what you've seen on the American side through a couple of games. As far as it goes with Canada, I would say they've disappointed. They won their first game, but they didn't do it in regulation, which is a big deal in this tournament. And then they lose to Team USA in Canada in what was definitely a charged atmosphere. But Canada goes at it again today, and they've pretty much got to win in regulation to guarantee they'll take on the United States in the final. So this today is Canada's biggest game, but I think all of that has to play into why this has been what it has been and why everybody's been so excited, just because it has been so long. But hey, now I can't wait for World Cups of hockey and Winter Olympics after this one, because this is really setting the stage and setting the tone, I think.
Yeah, 4.5 million people tuning in for that USA-Canada Four Nations Faceoff game on Saturday. Really excites the casual hockey fans and really galvanizes the diehard hockey fans. Dylan, watching Zack Werenski through 2 games, I was a little nervous going into this break having him play just because of the time on ice he's played for the Blue Jackets this season, has eclipsed everybody, and just watching him and what he's meant to this USA squad. I've done a 180 on it, and I'm glad he's able to have that opportunity. But just talk to what you've seen from Z in this first part of the season and kind of what you expect from him when they come back from the break starting Saturday against Chicago.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? Because I wasn't necessarily in the same boat as you. Like, I wasn't nervous about him going and playing whatsoever. But you watch Zack Werenski on a night-to-night basis with the Blue Jackets, and he's absolutely incredible. Like, Zack last season had 57 points, which was a career high for him. And he looked awesome last year. You left last season saying, wow, Zack Werenski was great for the Blue Jackets this season. And comparatively this year, he's been 5 times better, 10 times better. I mean, he has been a much different player, which is amazing. I mean, he has looked good this year. But then you put him on the ice with the rest of the best players in the world, and again, he belongs right there. So I think it's a little bit different, right, that you're seeing Zack on Nationwide Arena ice playing against the other best players in the world, and you're like, all right, this guy, he's carrying the Blue Jackets this year. He looks great. But then you put him out there, with everybody who's the best players in the world, and again, he still looks really good. So you're like, okay, this guy has really, really taken a step, if that makes any sense. So I was kind of thinking about it watching that game the other day. The fact that he is at this tournament and having success at this tournament, it's got to give you even more confidence, right? And I don't think Zack is lacking for confidence by any means, but if you're out there and you're like, okay, like I am one of these guys, I'm succeeding as one of these guys, I think it does add something. So that's just taking those next steps and maybe that other step in Zack's career now that he has had the opportunity to do this. So I am really intrigued to see the type of player that he is when he comes back. I don't think he's going to be any different. I think he really has found his identity and knows what he needs to be for the Blue Jackets, but I think there maybe is that little extra bit of swagger. So I'm excited to see if he comes back with maybe any added swagger or confidence. But, the Blue Jackets need him to be very, very good the remainder of this season. Frankly, they need him to be exactly what he has been this season, which is their best player. He's a driver from that blue line. He helps the Blue Jackets offensively a ton in addition to what he does defensively. I know people say, or they see that Zack's a defenseman, and I think obviously playing defense comes with that, but what he does on the blue line to create offense for the Blue Jackets, what he does as a goal scorer is extremely special, and he's truly one of the best NHL defensemen. I think he's established that this year, that he is an elite number 1D in the NHL.
Dylan Tyrer for the Blue Jackets Radio Network, our guest, courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Dylan, thanks so much for the time this morning. We look forward to hearing you on the calls on the Blue Jackets game starting Saturday, and then as we march closer to that game on March 1st at Ohio Stadium. Thanks, bud.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Go Jackets.
Saturday, first game back from the Four Nations Faceoff. But you'll have Zack Werenski in action tonight for Team USA at 8 o'clock. And then they're in the final Thursday in Boston. Like you said, like you heard from Dylan there, Team Canada's got to beat Sweden in regulation, or Finland, in regulation to make that rematch happen. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
The Ohio State Coaches Daily Show is brought to you locally on the Fan by Credit Union of Ohio.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Jake Diebler, brought to you by Encova Insurance. 86-83, the final. Ohio State falling to Michigan. Jake, I know disappointed in the result. You had to love the way your team fought all the way down to the end of this game.
Yeah, I thought we showed a great fight. But, in games like this, these high-level games, like you gotta be better attention to detail. Some of that was on the glass, certainly. We didn't do a good enough job rebounding, but, they didn't do anything we weren't anticipating. And then we had some defensive breakdowns with our communication that, I felt like was stuff that we could have done better in. But I thought we did show great fight, show great toughness. Really liked the look we got there at the end, and our execution at the end was really good. So that's good sign for us moving forward. But just disappointed, angry. We couldn't get the result we wanted this game.
All right, we'll have another comment in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
86-83, the final. Michigan with a victory here at Ohio State.
Coach, when you look at what Michigan has, 2 7-footers that play off of each other very well, it seemed like your team expended a lot of energy just dealing with that height advantage that they had versus your front line.
Yeah, Ron, I think for sure, and that's why, we talked about we weren't trying to get in a jumping contest in the paint when the shot went up, and I thought too many times, especially in the first half, we weren't physical. We were trying to be athletic, and that was a point of emphasis for us, and we didn't execute that well. And I thought we, really until the last 4 minutes did a better job in the second half. But some of those plays, it wasn't necessarily the bigs. It was some of their guards flying in there, keeping it alive. We'll certainly keep reviewing this and watch the tape and get better at it. These games, certainly you think about the last few plays, but it's throughout the course of the game that we had opportunities to be better. And, we needed to this game.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bomb shelves arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our thanks to Dylan Tyrer, the Blue Jackets Radio Network, for his time for that last segment. If you missed it, or if you've missed anything from this program or anything that we do, It's available for you, the Bishop and Friends podcast, wherever it is you do your podcasting. Also on the YouTube, you can go back and watch old episodes. You can watch stuff from earlier this morning. But if you're on either of those platforms, or on your podcast platform or the YouTube, if you're going to give us a review, it has to be 5 stars, or Tyus Powell will come get you.
That's correct.
Will get you.
Yep.
Mark chimes in just real quick. The game should have been the Rangers playing the Blue Jackets. And I think he is meaning for the Stadium Series showcase on March 1st. It should have been Jackets Rangers at Ohio Stadium instead of Jackets Red Wings. And I think Red Wings might have been my third Rangers might have been my third option on that, because I think you have to pick the Michigan team first. And if it's not available for the Red Wings, then I think you go get the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I would, yeah, that
right?
would be my,
But Rangers would have been fun. As the 3 teams I mentioned, the Pittsburgh Penguins, you still think there's some fight in that team, but they're sitting with 55 points in the race for the wild card. The Blue Jackets have 60, the Bruins 60 as well. Rangers have 58. They're looking up at the Detroit Red Wings and the Ottawa Senators. Detroit's got 61 points. So Blue Jackets and Red Wings, who will play once before they meet up at the Horseshoe, make these games matter, I think is exactly what we wanted from this team.
Thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
Something that didn't matter this weekend was the NBA's All-Star break. The skill showcase was nonsense. The tournament-style thing was stupid. Anthony Edwards saying he's not the face of the NBA, quote, that's what they got Wemby for, is just unserious as it gets. But speaking before Saturday's All-Star Showcase in San Francisco, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was asked about the Mavericks trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
I can say one thing for sure. Whether or not history will ultimately judge this as a smart trade, they did what they thought was in the best interest of their organization. I have absolutely no knowledge or believe there were any ulterior motives. There's no doubt in my mind that the Dumont-Adelson families bought that team to keep it in Dallas. You know, I have no doubt whatsoever that they're committed to the long-term success of that franchise. And in terms of the Dallas fans, all I can say to them is, again, time will tell whether it's the smart trade, but I think they should believe in their organization.
Thing or not a thing?
He sounds clueless. He sounds clueless. He knows. I don't know what you want him to say. Like, oh yeah, they're gonna take it and move it to Vegas. Like, no, he can't.
Not all that.
He can't necessarily say that, but he's got to be the professional one. Like, listen. You know how many times people will tell you stuff and they know the truth, but they can't come out and outrightfully tell you what the truth is? So, yeah, it's not a thing to me, though.
Okay. Yeah, this is not a thing because, like you said, what's he supposed to say? I mean, even if he knows that this is for sure the case, like, hey, they did this because they want to move this team or they want to force this to happen, he can't come out and say it. So this is not a thing.
But he can say it with more confidence. You knew it was going to be a question asked to you. If that wasn't the first question, you knew it was going to be 1, 2, or 3. So you get that word salad, you stand in front of a mirror, and you regurgitate it as often as you can, so you come out as confident as possible when speaking to the press about your bosses and the owners of the Dallas Mavericks. Whoa. That sounded like as unconfident of an answer as he possibly could have given. Now, the wording was, I think, correct. You didn't believe any of it. But again, what is he supposed to say? There was no confidence in that. Was there? Illinois lost at home to number 11 Michigan State, 79-65 on Saturday. In that game, Tom Izzo got his 354th conference win, passing Bob Knight for most Big Ten wins ever. At halftime, the Illini wanted to retire the jersey of two-time All-Big Ten guard Terrence Shannon. He played in Champaign from 2022 to 2024. His number was 0, and it was set to hang in the rafters for all of eternity. Problem was, it was hung upside down. Thing or not a thing?
When I saw this, I said, how do you mess that up? Like, how do you butcher something like that? That's unfortunate. I'd be salty if I was him, to be honest with you. But they fixed it. But, like, dude, how you gonna embarrass me like this? How you gonna embarrass me in front of all these people like this after everything I did for you for these past couple of years? So I would have been hot. I'd have been salty if I was him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Terrence Shannon have some unsavory allegations levied against him?
He got cleared.
He got cleared, and he returned to play. But yes, those are there.
Maybe this is somebody that did not like that or didn't forget that, or maybe had an unsavory dealings with Shannon in his time at Illinois, and they did it to make a point there. You would have to think... to me, you would have to think that it's something like that, because that is a pretty daggone careless mistake.
I agree.
It did seem intentional. How do you mess that up? How do you mess that up? Hang it upside down? It's not like the banners got like a question of what side goes up.
How would it be? Just think, if you standing there, you're looking at them about to raise your banner and it's upside down.
Oh, the picture that I found from one of the Illini reporters of just Shannon, like, and his eyes were wide, and you've got the Illinois athletic director on the court being like, what are we doing here, guys? It's pretty picturesque. Just real quick, it was weird for me to see Terry Francona in Reds gear. 97.1 The Fan is your home of the Reds in Central Ohio.
Shout out
We've got
Tito.
Reds Guardians Saturday at 3:05. Tyus and I will be your Reds pre-game coverage for that. The Cincinnati Enquirer caught up with Jonathan India, who no longer plays for the Reds, but he was asked about Terry Francona and what he thinks he will do in that Cincinnati clubhouse. This from India, quote, "They needed that fire in their ass, and he's going to bring it for sure. He's going to keep everyone in check, keep everyone accountable," end quote. Thing or not a thing?
Oh, that's a thing for sure. I mean, I think that everybody knows Tito's a great manager. Obviously, you know, he did some wonderful things with us, with the Cleveland, with Boston, all those things. And I have no doubt that he'll do the same thing with the Reds. I know Baker will be extremely excited for Tito, America's team, as you like to call them. So I'm interested to see what happens. I want to see if he can have that same effect that the Guardians had. You know, you get a new manager and boom, turn things around 1 year. Like, can he have that same effect?
This is a tremendous thing all the way around. The only thing that's bad about this is, one, I guess there's two things bad about this. One, that Captain America, Jonathan India, won't be there to see the success of America's team. And number two, there's some people that cover the Cincinnati Reds that are trying to make this an indictment on India, saying, well, you were one of the team leaders. How did you let this happen?
Well,
and I think players do police themselves, but there's only so much the players can do to hold each other accountable. There's a lot of Reds fans out there that have said David Bell has been the problem for a long time, and they wanted him gone. It's going to be awesome, I think, having a guy like Tito in there, and we'll see just how much David Bell was the problem, I guess.
It's almost baseball season, friends. We will blitz the weekend. Coming up next, it's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we use the newest technology to show you exactly how new windows would look on your home.
Well, we keep it simple at our window place. We use a number 2 pencil to draw what your house will look like with our new windows. See?
Oh yeah, that definitely looks like a number 2.
Thank you, Leslie. Wait, I see what you did there.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon.
Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter.
Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Big Ten men's basketball tournament starts on March 12th in Indianapolis. Ohio State's got 5 more games left in the regular season. OSU lost to number 20 Michigan 86-83 yesterday in front of a sold-out crowd at the Schottenstein Center. The loss drops the Buckeyes to 7-8 in the conference. They'll host Northwestern Thursday at 6:30. Hear more from the basketball Buckeyes today at noon on the Jake Diebler Show. Also at noon on President's Day, the 9th-ranked Ohio State women's squad hosts Iowa. Maddie Andrews will have the call over on ESPN Columbus with coverage at 11:45. Buckeyes are 21-3 overall, 10-3 in the Big Ten. And on the ice tonight in Boston, Team USA plays Finland at 8 in the Four Nations Faceoff round-robin finale. Americans are already in Thursday's final after their 3-1 win over Canada. The Blue Jackets are back from the break Saturday hosting the Blackhawks. That's at 7 o'clock. You can hear Blue Jackets hockey and breaking sports news all as it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
So I see this from Victor Wembanyama and Giannis Antetokounmpo following All-Star festivities for the NBA in San Francisco over the weekend. Let's do it. Best countries, best players in a tournament format. The U.S. on one side, the world on the other side. That's a novel idea.
Didn't they do that before?
I think they have done that before. They did like USA versus the rest of the world type thing. It sure seems like they're just trying to copy everything that the NHL is doing because
that's what it sounds
what
like.
did they do this year? They broke it up into like four teams and did a
drafted
tournament,
them,
which is what the NHL had done with their All-Star game the past couple of years. They broke them down and did a 3-on-3 tournament. So it seems like they're just trying to follow whatever hockey's doing.
Listen. That's I guess sure, fine. I mean, it's just the whole weekend. Like the dunk contest should be shelved. Like we've seen every dunk. Like
you've seen Mac McClung, a guy not on the NBA roster, win it 3 times.
I mean, all he does is jump over things. Like that's
really impressive. Like he jumped over a Kia for his winning dunk.
That was his first dunk.
That was his first one? Yeah, it shows how much I paid attention.
His first dunk of the night.
That's
was
still amazing.
It's an incredible feat of athleticism.
But he's not an NBA player.
But right. If you want to do the G League dunk contest, Mac McClung's going to win it in the next 10 years. But if you're not having actual NBA stars participate in these things.
I think it's time to shelve that. It's done. It was nice for all the years that it had. We had some memorable moments, but I think at this point it's a little washed. Turn that into a one-on-one thing. Like people love to see guys go one-on-one, play the 5. Boom, make an elimination.
It's as difficult for the NBA as it is for the NFL to scrap these things because you do have escalators in contracts that say if he makes an all-star or if he is this, then you get this bonus. So you got to write those out first before you can ever scrap the all-star game in its entirety. But yeah, you can make some of these things just go away.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to get made fun of like we're doing today.
Real quick before we start.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie and Wemby went one-on-one in the game yesterday.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, one of the best offensive players versus one of the best defensive players. Man, Kyrie spent that man like a top. He missed the shot, though.
That's all that matters.
He missed the layup, but he spent that man like a top.
I don't need that flash if you're not going to make the shot.
What do you mean? I was like, oh, man, have this dance.
I expect Kyrie to put a guy like Wemby on skates.
I didn't.
Then I expect Kyrie to finish the bucket.
It was 12 twisted him like a top.
Was that one of the highlights from the weekend? Let's find out.
Bishop and Friends present a weekend sports blitz.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, I believe I had that. What'd you have, Baker?
I believe I had that USA-Canada game on Saturday night was going to be an all-time banger. Now, I did not know they were actually going to throw knuckles like they did at the drop of the puck and in the first 9 seconds. I did not see 3 fights coming in that game that quickly, but man, that was a great hockey game. What the U.S. did to keep that Canadian firepower in check defensively was amazing, and that was just a classic all-time game. Very physical, a lot of skill, great goalie play from Connor Hellebuck. Was a classic.
I believe that I had Matt McClung winning, doing the 3-peat, because when you looked at the names on the dunk contest list, you was like, dude, who?
You didn't know any of them.
That's my point. So I'm like, yeah, he's gonna 3-peat this thing. He went out there, and not only did he 3-peat it, he didn't miss a dunk. It was guys that couldn't make their first dunk, couldn't make their third dunk. It was a joke, but I knew he would win, so I had that correct.
I believe I had that fight from the basketball Buckeyes. Ohio State's not as talented as Michigan. Ohio State's not as big as Michigan. Ohio State doesn't play as nearly as well as the Wolverines, and that pains me to say. I'm sure that pains you to hear. But they fought their asses off in the second half, down 7 at the half. You don't ever want to lose to that team up north.
Yes.
But this was a respectable one, in my opinion. And I had that on Friday, and I had that on Saturday, that was how it was going to go.
If you lose by, you have a wide shot at the bucket, and
he's going to see that in his nightmares, Bruce Thornton will.
It is what it is. That's part of the game. It's part of the game. You make some, you miss some, but at least you want that opportunity, and he had it, and he missed.
He did not have that shot. Baker, what did you not have from the weekend?
I did not have that I was going to watch so much local channels everybody can get with their rabbit ears antenna TV this weekend. I mean, I just if somebody hypothetically had a device
no names
where
here,
they could get any kind of TV they wanted, that would be great, but sometimes it's hard to bounce back and forth. There's no back channel on that. But there is on the TV with the rabbit ears, and there was so much good stuff on local programming this weekend that all day I had it tuned to ABC to watch hockey, and then the Duke basketball game, and then you had hockey later on that night, and then yesterday bouncing back and forth between the Ohio State game, which was on CBS, and the Daytona 500 coverage. My TV stayed on the antenna all weekend, and that was pretty amazing.
Look at that. Look at you. Crossing new paths. I like that. For me, I did not have that it was going to be a big snowstorm on my birthday. That really dampened a lot of things, I opened those blinds and I just couldn't believe what I saw. I was like, dude, I thought we were past this.
That's Mother Nature's gift to you on your birthday.
I thought we were past the snow. It's been in the 30s.
Isn't that why? That's why I told you that I wanted February to end.
No.
Because that's what February gives you, and I do not like that. Everything else with February I love.
Tyvis, we always get a snow in April.
And one's coming in March.
It's in March. Yeah. Actually, March is where it's at.
It's just going to happen.
No, it's supposed to be 40s in next week. So maybe not.
I did not have how much I wouldn't miss football. I did not miss football this weekend.
Just because
no college, no NFL.
Is it because
didn't miss
State won it all, and it was
so that helped. And then I'm trying to do a you did, Matty Ice did no fries for a year. I'm trying to do no browns. I'm on a Browns diet.
Please. Oh, stop it.
Browns cleanse.
You need to cut that out.
Cleanse it from my system.
Well, you need to cleanse it from...
The Lord deliver me from the Cleveland Browns, and he did for a weekend.
You need to cleanse yourself in 3 years.
Hallelujah.
Preach, brother.
Player who impressed for you, Baker.
Vanderbilt freshman guard Michaela Blakes. I don't know if you know who she is, but she set the women's freshman NCAA record with 55 points in Vanderbilt's 98-88 overtime win over Auburn. On the season, she's averaging 21.8 points per game. She was 15 of 28 from the field, made 2 3-pointers, was 23 of 24 from the free throw line. She breaks the record set by Elena Deladon, who scored 54 points as a redshirt freshman at Delaware back in 2010 before she transferred to UConn. Funny thing about Blake's breaking this record, she came 1 point short of tying it earlier this year when she had 53 points. So Michaela Blakes can ball a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say. For me, I went with Devin Royal. I mean, I knew he was a good player, but like to see somebody in a rivalry game, you know, he was pretty efficient, 10 for 15, 26 points, 5 rebounds. I just thought and he was like 3 for 5 from Trey. So like he's a 3-level scorer like I always knew. But, you know, when you're going up against those 7-footers and stuff that can alter your shot and he still find a way to finish at the rim and do things like that and still get good shots off, I was impressed.
I was impressed, and I am always impressed when I watch Connor McDavid. So he drew first blood in Team USA's 3-1 win over his Canadian squad. But he reached on his first goal a max skating speed of 22.6 miles per hour, which is nuts to think about on skates. He ranks second in the NHL with 57 bursts of 22-plus miles per hour. Nathan McKinnon, his Canadian teammate, has 64 bursts clocked at 22 miles per hour or faster. It's just incredible. That play that was made by the Canadian squad to get McDavid in stride. I don't know if anybody ever beats that. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Somebody online did a breakdown, too, of how hard that was as a skater to do what he did on that play to keep that speed. And they said going from his outside edge on his 1 foot to the outside, they talked about the ankle strength that he needs to do that. And it's just ridiculously impressive when you even break it down
24?
From someone who knows it.
24 miles. It sounds fake. He was moving 24 miles per hour. That's ridiculous.
That's as fast as Will Howard reportedly ran for Ohio State last offseason. Player who disappointed for you, Baker.
Man, I hate to kick a guy while he's down and beat a dead horse here.
But you will.
Aaron Bradshaw.
Oh.
I mean, come on. What do we got? And maybe this is just what we got with young Mr. Bradshaw until he can put some more weight on. But 11 minutes the other night, 1 point, a terrible three-pointer attempt that was way off. And he fouls out of the game, just 1 rebound. I mean, you're 7-1, bud. You got to do a little better than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's... You know, it's one of those things, like... When I found out wrestling wasn't real, like that's how.
What do you mean?
That's how I feel.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean wrestling's not real?
Huh?
You know what I mean.
You have to say what you mean.
How dare you?
Scripted. WWE.
Huh. So you're telling me when I saw Mankind and The Rock fight in an empty arena for the WWF Championship during the halftime of a Super Bowl, that was predetermined?
You know which one still gets me? When Jeff Jarrett used to hit people with them guitars, I swear up and down that was real.
Yeah, he hammered Beetlejuice that one time. That was amazing. You're telling me the guy on my shirt isn't real?
That's a fun rabbit hole to go down on YouTube, or I think even on Instagram you'll find Jeff Jarrett guitar compilations.
Oh my goodness!
Of him just crushing people with that guitar.
To be like, wow. But yeah, that's how I feel about Aaron Bradshaw. But anyways,
right, slap nuts. Who disappointed for you?
Andre Jackson Jr., who nobody even heard of. He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. I was watching the dunk contest on Saturday, and I watched this man attempt like 6 dunks. How you gonna get in the dunk contest and can't get? You can't even make your dunks. Like, and it was simple dunks. Like he tried to start off with something complex. It didn't work. Then he moved to something simpler, and he still couldn't dunk the ball. I was like, what is this about? He's one of those guys that should be banned from ever participating in the dunking contest again.
You just want to maybe send the dunk contest into the sun. I just saw this on my Twitter timeline. Giancarlo Stanton told reporters he's dealing with a very high level of pain in both elbows and is unsure if he'll be ready for opening day as he hasn't swung a bat in 3 to 4 weeks. I'm disappointed.
Are you? No, I'm about to say you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. That's about our luck.
Like the physical gifts, like nobody. I don't know if there's anybody that's been more physically gifted than a guy like Giancarlo Stanton. And it's just been disappointing. He's made of glass.
Yeah.
Bud Kilmer, Honorary Coach of the Week, Baker.
This might have been the easiest one for me. Tom Izzo. Anytime you break that record, become the all-time winningest basketball coach in Big Ten history, beating Robert Montgomery Knight, that's pretty impressive. So it's Izzo all the way.
That's a good pick. I didn't pick that one because I knew you would pick that one. So I went with Rick Pitino.
I picked him because I knew someone was going to pick Izzo, so I didn't pick Izzo, so I picked Pitino. And then you picked Pitino. Come on!
This is why we should
deserve it.
We should talk.
No, you don't do the show before the show.
We should talk this out. Rick Pitino, because to win against Creighton is a big one, but they're 16-0 at home. That's why I really liked it. That's why I picked him.
The Red Storm making a run in March. That could be what we're actually going to have conversations about. Adam Jardy coming up here in about 15 minutes. Some madness in March. That's next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
For the Blue Jackets, the magic happens on the ice. But for Blue Jackets fans looking for an amazing getaway, the real Florida magic is here in Central Florida's Polk County. From the natural beauty of Bok Tower Gardens, to the all-ages fun at Legoland Florida Resort, to the chance to do some luxurious glamping on a working dude ranch, it's all here. Even better, it's all just minutes from other area theme parks, too. Discover everything we offer and plan your trip to see the real Florida at visitcentralflorida.com today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
At Twin Peaks, they're proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. Plus, check out their barrel selects that are handpicked by their team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Check with your favorite location to see what they're pouring. Cheers.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Bone, did you know that the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus has over 30 TVs, 2 massive video walls? They even have recliners, a full-service bar and restaurant, a betting counter, and over 30 kiosks?
I did know that, but I also know that you can reserve a table right now at Hollywood Casino Columbus at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook and guarantee your spot and get some game day swag while you do it. Just visit hollywoodcolumbus.com/casino/sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
What's the best best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh, no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are looking at a cold, brisk, and windy Monday out there. Today's high temperature will be around 22. However, when you factor in that wind, it'll feel like only 9 degrees this afternoon. Partly sunny today, partly cloudy tonight, low of 9. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Yes, it is. Just the friends today. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, our best friend and birthday boy, Tyus Powell. Happy President's Day to all those who celebrate. We'll have good friend of the program, Adam Jardy, on in 10 minutes talking about that Ohio State-Michigan game where the Wolverines got a 3-point win yesterday at the Schottenstein Center and how the last 5 games for this basketball Buckeye squad don't feel like must-wins, but I would call them must-not-lose.
Yeah. If you want to continue to have an impressive resume, I would love for them to at least finish over 500 in conference play.
7-8 is the Buckeyes' record in Big Ten play right now. They'll have Northwestern at the Schottenstein Center Thursday at 6:30. You might have wondered to yourself, hey, it's Monday, and at 10:30, they didn't talk to Austin Ward. Well, he was on vacation, deservedly so, because the football season's over, so you get to take some time. So he was out in California. Fret not, he will join next Monday. I know you're against taking vacations.
Who does he think
for some strange reason? I don't get that. I don't get your anti-napping stance. I don't get your anti-stretching before physical activity stretch. But that's neither here nor there, because on a recent episode of The Podcast with Austin Ward and Jeremy Birmingham, Ryan Day sat down with the boys and told them some of his favorite moments from this past season. Obviously, they win a national championship, so probably hoisting that trophy at the end of the game against Notre Dame, probably the most favorite moment. But he talked about Quinshawn Judkins' 70-yard run, talked about Jack Sawyer's scoop and score, Travion Henderson's touchdown in the Oregon game, running out of the tunnel against the Tennessee Volunteers in that first-round matchup, just seeing all of that orange, but also seeing the response from Ohio State fans in that game and just being part of that matchup. Like, I thought the 12-team college football playoff crushed it. The games in the first round weren't that competitive. There were some other games that weren't competitive throughout in the quarters and the semis. That's what you're going to get when you bring in more teams. Hell, the Super Bowl wasn't even competitive. So are we going to talk about how the Chiefs shouldn't have made the thing? But the atmosphere for those college football first-round games were incredible. And so Day talks about that. So wherever you get your podcasting, go to The Podcast, and you'll hear from Austin Ward, Jeremy Birmingham, talking with Ryan Day. He did, the head coach of the Buckeyes, sit down with Dom Tiberi. This was this past week. You can see that on 10 TV Plus, wherever it is you do your digital viewing, so your phone, your tablet, the app. Ryan was asked by Dom when he knew Ohio State was going to be national champion.
And then in the Texas game, when that ball bounced up to Jack, at that moment, well, first off, not that moment, because I kind of ran down, but then I looked back to see if there was any flags. At that moment, when I saw there was no flags, I said, we're going to win the national championship, because that ball bounced our way. It bounced our way. There's been times where it hasn't bounced our way. It did. And if you keep swinging, if you keep fighting, and you keep getting those at bats, that ball's going to bounce your way eventually. And then we left no doubt.
That, for me, has to be the biggest moment of this season. Biggest, best, awesomest moment.
Yeah.
What about for you, Tyus Powell?
Well, it would be that one, but the one that really would have been was when he picked it off in the Team Up North game. That would have been that goal line interception.
Oh my god! As far as football plays go,
it makes me so mad that it's kind of forgotten about.
But
like,
lost the game.
Such a great read.
No, but man, it was such a great play because it was the dude was wide open. It was like the dagger in the game, and to see that, feel that, like that's all instinctual. Like to make that play in that moment in that game. Like, that was it. And I'm just so mad that they ended up losing that game because that would have been the biggest play in the history for a long time for me personally. But since that didn't happen and they lost that game, obviously get watered down. So, yeah, the Scooper score. But I really liked Trayvion's 75-yard screen pass. Like, that was right before halftime. Like, that was – it was like, all right, everybody was kind of fretting about the game. But when that happened, it was calming. Like, oh, yeah, y'all messed up with that. It's over in my eyes.
Baker, how about you?
For me, the thing that I'm going to remember about this season probably the most is the whole first half of that second Oregon game. Because I don't know if I've ever seen in my lifetime a Buckeye football team as a whole play a better half than that. The only other time I think it's rivaled is a couple of years ago when they played Michigan State in the shoe, and C.J. Stroud went off, and they were up like 49-7. Maybe it was 49-0 even at the half, and they ended up winning that game 49-7, and C.J. was just throwing dots all over the field. That's the only other half of football that rivals it, but it doesn't rival it because that was a bad Michigan State team. It was in the regular season. This was in the college football playoff. You had lost to them already. That first half of the Oregon game to me, and to me anyway, whoever won that game was going to win the national championship. So when Ohio State won that game, oh, they're going to win this whole thing. Like, there wasn't a doubt in my mind at that moment. And that first half was just so good. It was like, all right, this is the team we've been waiting for. This is the team, not only this year, but this is the team we've been waiting for the past 4 or 5 years. And that was it to me. That was the stamp on the whole season.
And there were also a couple winners, I think big winners from the regular season that Ryan Day points out when he was on the podcast with Austin Ward and Jeremy Birmingham. That win at Penn State, I mean, you could feel it when hearing from Ryan Day and that coaching staff before the game, and then just seeing their faces, seeing the emotion coming off of their bodies after that game went final in Happy Valley. You see the elation from Ryan Day and embracing Ross Bjork and Ted Carter and the players themselves. Like, that felt very much like a great exhale from so much pressure that had been built up from that loss to Oregon. He also talked about Carnell Tate's touchdown catches at Northwestern. Carnell Tate being a Chicago kid, having those kinds of moments in front of friends and family. He also talked about Caleb Downs having that punt return touchdown against Indiana.
Those big ones.
It was like 10 years after Jalen Marshall had a punt return touchdown. I think it was in a game against Indiana.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So just one season for the ages. And really, I don't know how long Ryan Day's sit down with Austin and Jeremy was, but almost there's not enough time in a given day to just recap how special that was, but then what that means, winning the thing in 2024 in the manner and fashion they did it, for what's to come in 2025, because we still have a couple weeks until the spring football starts. They're going to be doing it after the Buckeyes get back from spring break, and then you have April 12th, the spring showcase for this football squad. Is there one thing, Tyus, right now that you're most looking forward to seeing at that showcase on April 12th at the shoe?
Well, it's going to be
It's early, right? I know.
It's going to be very vanilla.
Very vanilla.
So,
but it's still a good...
Obviously, the easy answer is the quarterbacks because they're both new, Lincoln and Julian. Obviously, that's going to be everybody's number one answer.
And Tavian.
That's, yes.
I really want to see what he looks like.
I do too.
But obviously, I know he's a person with 2 arms and 2 legs.
You know what, though? The one player that I want to see in the spring showcase that I'm going to be circling is Mylan Graham, because he was such a high recruit.
Yeah,
I just want to see what he like. We didn't see him last year. Obviously, he came in the summertime, and at that time, Jeremiah Smith was already buzzing, and they kind of had their roster made up. But I want to see, the talent. I want to see how good he really is. So hopefully the spring game will be the chance for me to see.
I think this is the time for this team where you give the guys that went through that 16-game slog. You give them the rest, and you're able to at the same time giving them rest, but getting them prepared. You got to work in a new defense that Matt Patricia will likely bring to town. You've got to work with Brian Hartline as he's the new offensive play caller of this squad. But I think the showcase word really works great with your young guys.
Yes,
showcase them and what they can bring to this program in the future. Probably not in the immediacy. Probably not in 2025. You'll be relying too much on freshmen against Texas, but. In 2026, it's always, I think, a good way the spring showcase, the spring game has been to welcome everybody to spring because it's like the unofficial start in Columbus, and then to give Buckeye fans just a sense of what's to come with this program. For the Ohio State men's basketball team, I've been saying it all year, it's about build. What can be built off of yesterday's loss to Michigan? We'll ask Adam Jardy about that next. It's Bishop and Friends in 2 minutes on The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon.
Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter.
Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com and switch today.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Eric Reeser, Tyus Powell, Ryan Baker rolling along on this President's Day edition of Bishop and Friends, the All Friends edition. You'll hear from Ohio State's Jake Diebler coming up at noon today on the Jake Diebler Show. I'm interested to get his thoughts a couple hours removed of a very disappointing 86-83 loss to Michigan at the Value City Arena. We go out live now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline to a man who was there on the ground at the shot yesterday, and Adam Jardy, great friend of the program who covers the basketball Buckeyes at the Columbus Dispatch. Adam, I was saying that Bruce Thornton's going to see that shot in his nightmares for maybe ever. What exactly was Ohio State looking for on that final play?
You know, they didn't get into too many specifics as far as exactly what they were looking for, but that was a high percentage shot that they really did want. I mean, it looked like, I don't know exactly what happened because, like, John Mobley went flying across the court at one point. Like, he got bumped out of the play, and then Bruce kind of went off the screen, and you end up with him, the ball in his right hand, getting into paint and getting a 5-foot kind of floater, leaner shot. Like, I mean, he makes that shot, 90% of the time, and he just shot-putted it a little short. And I don't know that was specifically the look they were getting, but, like, if you tell them they can draw up 5 looks that they want to get, that's going to be one of them. Like, that's a shot that they would take and they're going to live with.
Adam, when you look at this team, obviously everybody talks about how rebounding is always going to be the thing, especially when you're going up against these teams with these bigs. And, when you move into tournament play, they're going to have to go up against some 7-footers or some good teams with 7-footers. What do you think they need to do to offset that? What is something that they can fix to try to give them a chance to win these games?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was unique because Michigan plays 2 7-footers together consistently, and there aren't too many teams. Like, I think Michigan is the 6th biggest team in the country. So, like, the challenge that they specifically faced yesterday, I don't think they're going to run into too many times. But having said that, I thought it was interesting. Jake Diebler said after the game that they had too many guys just jumping for rebounds. They weren't hitting their man. They weren't boxing out. They weren't being physical enough. They weren't rebounding. They were jumping. And I thought that was a really interesting distinction to make because, yeah, I mean, Michigan out-rebounded them by 15. There were 5 times where Ohio State blocked a shot. 3 of them, Michigan just grabbed it once it got blocked, and then on 2 of those, they laid it in. So there's 4 points in a 3-point loss. They just weren't physical enough at the point of attack, at the point of contact when that ball goes on the rim. And, it's not to single out one person specifically, but Aaron Bradshaw had 1 rebound and fouled out in 10 minutes. He's your 7'1", 215-pound center who has not really shown himself to be an elite rebounder throughout the course of the season, but certainly you would expect more than 1 from your 7'1" guy when you're going against 2 other 7-footers. So they got to figure some stuff out there for sure.
Yeah, Adam, what is the fix there? I thought it was interesting, starting Bradshaw in the second half and, just like you said, how his day ended. What for Jake Diebler is I guess, what's the first thing they try to throw at the wall to get that kind of size or to at least bridge the gap that they have with teams that not only are taller, but much bigger?
Well, I thought Sean Stewart played one of his better games, and it kind of goes under the radar because they lost, and he didn't score a lot, and I know he struggled at the foul line, but he had 10 rebounds, played a career-high 26.5 minutes, and did not commit a foul. And this is a guy who had a stretch of 3 straight games where he fouled out. He had no fouls in this game, 2 fouls in the game prior, and I thought he battled. I thought he was there on the glass. He was being physical. I thought Devin Royal similarly was effective on the glass. They need more guys to give them a little bit more. I don't know that Evan Mahaffey did a whole lot on the glass, and he's normally a pretty decent rebounder. I said Aaron Bradshaw didn't give them a whole lot. We didn't even see Ivan Yagovin, which I thought maybe there was an opportunity to play him for a few minutes just from a height size, but there were some real concerns about the way Michigan uses those 2 7-footers and ball screens. I just don't think they trusted Ivan enough in his development yet to be able to defend that. But certainly, it's the biggest glaring issue on this team right now. It's just that they're not getting enough offensive production. They're not getting enough, for the most part, rebounding from that center position. And that's, at this point of the season, you kind of are who you are. So I think you just keep coaching the guys you have and hoping that some of that, there's a breakthrough at some point here.
Let me ask you about Micah Parrish. Micah Parrish is a guy that, a couple games ago, he had 30, then 20. Yesterday he had 9. Do you think he just had a bad game, or do you think the Wolverines had a good game plan for him?
I think he had a tough game. I think his shot didn't fall. He was 0 of 5 from 3 until he hits a 3 in the corner with like 30 seconds left and made it a 1-point game that really kind of gave them, that opportunity at the end to send it to overtime. It's funny how these things work out. I do have a story coming on Micah Parrish's growing offensive role and how he's been so impactful in a way that he's not been at any point in his career. And then he had a rough one there yesterday. But I just felt like the outside shot didn't fall. I thought he got to the rim a couple of times, and it just didn't. He was just off yesterday. And that could have been a little bit from, he's a guy from the state of Michigan. He has spoken repeatedly about how Michigan and Michigan State did not recruit him and how much that bothered him, how much that put a chip on his shoulder. Perhaps that had a little bit to do. Maybe he was a little overamped or trying a little bit instead of letting it come to him. Maybe he forced it a little yesterday. But I think it was over the last 7 or 8 games leading into that, he was leading Ohio State during that stretch, averaging like 18 a game. So his emergence has been really critical for this team to give them another option offensively. And when he only gives you 9, then that becomes a tougher go for Ohio State when you're playing a top 20 team like Michigan.
Adam Jardy, our guest, read his stuff on the basketball Buckeyes over at the Columbus Dispatch. I do I do real quick, Adam. Just want to give credit to the fans in attendance there. It was a sold-out Scarlet Out at the Value City Arena. Do you remember the last time an Ohio State men's basketball game had that kind of passion? And then to both coaches afterwards preaching to the Big Ten, we need a home and home every single year for this series.
I thought that the passion that we saw last year for the Purdue game, when it was Diebler's first game as the interim coach, I thought that was kind of similar to this. And it was mostly packed. That was just such a emotional, kind of cathartic day for a lot of people. Like, I thought this certainly kind of reminded me of that. The last time they had a sellout was at the end of the 2021-22 season when it was senior day and they hosted Michigan. Hunter Dickinson had the flu. He didn't play. Juwan Howard wasn't coaching. He was suspended. And they handed Ohio State a 5 or 6 point loss. So it's been a while since we've seen really that kind of crowd. And it's a good reminder that, when the shot is packed to the rafters, it can be a great environment. It can be loud. I wish maybe they'd turn down the PA a little bit. It doesn't need to be quite that loud in there, but the crowd itself was really solid. And yeah, like I said, a reminder that this place can be rocking when they fill it. And credit to both Diebler and Dusty May for advocating that these guys need to play each other twice a year. I mean, it's not often you see maybe coaches on both sides of a rivalry approaching it in such a way like that. I thought it was real refreshing, and I certainly hope that going forward we're seeing these guys play twice a year.
Adam, how weird was it seeing Roddy Gale, a guy that you covered for a year? I think you guys had an interview before the game. How do you think he played, and how weird was it watching him for the enemy?
Yeah, it was a strange sight for sure. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, depending on what side you fall on this, like, we're going to see a lot more of this going forward. I think eventually it's the shock of, oh, this guy played here, now he's playing there. Like, I do think that's starting to wear off a little bit. I don't know if it'll ever get fully normalized with Ohio State and Michigan. It's always going to be a little bit strange. I thought Roddy actually played overall better than I expected because he's a really good dude. I mean, like, I've known him for several years, and some of the interactions I've had with him, the stories I've written about him helping with a special needs basketball team at his high school, the relationships he had with those kids that he continued even when he was gone. They came to watch him play an Ohio State game last year. Like, there's a lot of stuff there about Roddy Gale. He's very much like a people person, and relationships are important to him. And he's not the kind of guy that I felt like could come into an arena where 18,000 people are going to be booing him and he would perform at a high level. I kind of thought that would go the other way for him. And he didn't have like the most flashy game or the biggest production, but I think he had 9 points, but he had the go-ahead bucket with, a minute and a half to go. I think he had 10 rebounds or 9 rebounds. He did enough. He was a difference maker in a 3-point win for his team. And it was wild, though. I mean, just the level of boos was solid throughout. And then anytime he touched the ball, it just jumped up like 30 decibels. It was really, really interesting to watch.
Adam Jardy, our guest. Adam, before we get you out of here, I just want to ask real quick, because this will be new for everybody. When Ohio State goes out to Los Angeles, you got UCLA on the 23rd of February and then USC on the 26th. Do you have an itinerary for that, 5-6 day trip? And are you doing anything cool in between the games between the Bruins and the Trojans?
At this point, I'm not sure that I'm going, so I don't have an itinerary. Excuse me, might be watching these games from the couch, so I don't know yet.
You got to petition your boss. Would you want to go if offered?
I mean, I will cover an Ohio State game if it's in Siberia. Like, I don't care where it is. I just love getting to cover this program and bring the fans in. So, yes, certainly I would like to be there.
Well, we appreciate the time given to us this morning, Adam. Thank you so much for it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Follow him on Twitter at Adam Jardy. Become a smarter basketball Buckeye fan. It would be a shame if they didn't send him out to Los Angeles for that.
It would be a shame. They probably will, though.
I'd hope so. Because you got a couple of days just
There's no way that they wouldn't.
Because I'd asked Matty Andrews the same thing when the Ohio State women's team went out to Los Angeles for a couple of days, and he said it was a pretty busy schedule, so he didn't really have a whole lot of time to pal around on the West Coast. But
in and out.
Late February, you're sending me out to Los Angeles?
I just want in and out.
You can get that.
Yeah.
When you go in and when you go out. And then you can enjoy the beach when it's warm. So we're thinking spring things here, all right? It's February. There's ice and snow everywhere. I'm just trying to think warm, so maybe that'll help me be warm. We'll do 3 things coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
This Buckeye Football Impact Report is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Ohio State football Impact Report.
Those that follow Buckeye recruiting certainly know from class to class who the next great receiver is that Brian Hartline is recruited to be a Buckeye. According to Ohio State recruiting analyst Bill Kurlick, Quincy Porter, wide receiver, may be that next one.
Wide receiver Quincy Porter from Ordell Bergen Catholic High School, New Jersey, is a 5-star prospect that the Buckeyes beat out Michigan and a number of other schools to land. He's absolutely one of the top wide receiver prospects in the country. At 6'3" and 200 pounds, he reminds some of Marvin Harrison, and he has the potential, the ability to be the next great wide receiver to play and be developed by Brian Hartline.
This report was brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass. I'm Matt Andrews on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is a part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is safe and clean for the players every game at the Schottenstein Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
I used to love shooting hoops with my dad, who taught me great lessons beyond the game. He was the one who helped me open my first bank account. He told me credit unions take care of you like a teammate and often have the best rates. That's why I've been a Credit Union of Ohio member for 40 plus years.
Make life more affordable at Credit Union of Ohio. With great rates on savings and loans, Credit Union of Ohio has been trusted by families for generations. Visit cuofohio.org to join today. That's cuofohio.org. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your furnace could be costing you in repairs and high utility bills. Replace it with Logan AC and Heat Services. Enjoy 0% APR financing for 72 months. It's hard to stop a train. Schedule now. Logan Services.
Say yes to Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend on February 21st and 22nd. Enjoy buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special no-interest financing on engagement rings. Visit us in-store and learn more at diamondseller.com.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March? What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind: to send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas, where they'll compete for $10,000. Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on 2 different nights. Thursday, they'll be at Classics Pickerington on Stone Creek Drive from 8 to 10 p.m. Then on Friday at Pastimes in Worthington from 7 to 9. Both events will have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our thanks to Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch for the time in the last segment. If you missed our discussion with Adam, it's available wherever you get your podcasting and on the YouTube. Just search WBNS Radio. That'll come to you, as well as Morning Juice. Rothman and Ice are coming up next. Maddie and DeVere will be in. Then you'll have Common Man and T-Bone, followed by the Buckeye Show. Are you on with Timmy at all this week? Yeah. Birthday boy Tyus Powell?
Yeah, you
had said you'd looked at your schedule, so I kind of just assumed you had it off the top of your head.
I'm working with Tim tomorrow, 6 to 8. I'm working with Tim Friday, 6 to 8.
Good to know.
I think, unless Tim blowing me off.
You and I are doing the Saturday Spectacular 9 to noon this Saturday.
Correct.
And then following us will be you'll see, at 3:05, first pitch between the Guardians and the Reds for their spring training showcase. Guardians.
I will be wearing my Guardians hat.
Always going to be on your head.
I mean, you always do.
Reds baseball can be heard on The Fan and ESPN Columbus all season. We are thrilled for that partnership and excited to bring you Cincinnati Reds baseball in the first year of the Terry Francona era.
Gosh, I can't wait.
Do you think if I made it like big time, I could work it, like put it in my...
You are big time. You're on with Eric Reeser and Ryan Baker.
Don't get much bigger than that, bud.
I guess you got a point there. So you agree that I should be able to put in my contract that I could wear my hat all times, like even on TV.
Who has told you can't?
Yeah, who says... Did the TV people?
Yes.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I should go in there with the hat on.
That's right. Just walk right in until they tell you no.
I'm going to be honest with you. As a Columbus native, like I feel like if you see me, you usually see me with a hat on. So if you see me without a hat, it's almost weird. So that's
very weird.
That's the point. So at this point of my life, like, I should always wear a hat, even if I'm on TV, because that's how people recognize me.
Just shave it.
No, I ain't doing that.
Just shave it. Come on.
Not yet.
Join the brethren.
Hold out.
Not yet. You know the funny thing is?
When the lieutenant lets you know it's time, then it is time.
The funny thing is...
Reach out to LeBron. He'll hook you up.
The funny thing is, all of my friends we all going through this at the same time. We all are like dealing with some thinning.
That's called getting old, Tyus.
No, it's called the helmet. It's the helmet it's the football helmet. I promise you. It's everybody that's played football at some point is going to have to shave their head.
Bobby has a full head of hair.
Troy Polamalu ever had to worry about shaving his head?
They got good hair.
So
DeVere has great hair.
There are unicorns in every walk of life.
DeVere's day is coming. If DeVere,
don't wish that upon anybody.
DeVere shaves his
stuff. Isn't DeVere older than you?
Yes.
So he's good.
And DeVere's my age.
But the thing is, my family's not bald. We're not bald.
Well,
I mean, you're not either.
It's not.
You're just going Stephen A. Smith.
Is anyone in your family, though, formerly a world-class athlete?
Yeah. In the distance, Usain Bolt.
What do you mean distance? He was a sprinter.
No, I'm saying like he's a distance relative.
Tyvis is trying to say he's a distant relative.
He's a distant relative.
Uh-huh.
Usain Bolt.
The fan poll at 971thefan.com asks, will the Ohio State men's basketball team make the NCAA tournament? 53% say no. 47% say yes. What say you, Tyus Powell?
They're going to make the tournament.
I think so.
Yeah.
They are at a 73% shot at making it right now.
I think you go 5-1 in your last 6. I think you make a decent run in the Big Ten tournament. I think you find yourself as a 10 seed, and you feel pretty good about where that puts you for next season.
You say Northwestern the next game?
Northwestern's the next game, Thursday at 6:30.
They drop that one, I'll be worried.
Yes, you and everybody else.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
First thing for me, a hex on you and your household. If in the last 24 hours you have not shoveled and salted your sidewalk. If I got to walk on your sidewalk and it's still covered in ice and snow, a hex upon you and your household, except if you live in an HOA and they haven't cleared that, then I do think it's a point of principle. If you're paying those HOA fees and they don't clear your stuff, then it's not on you, and therefore I do not hex. But if you are responsible for your sidewalk, a hex if you have not cleaned it.
Or if you're too old or can't, a hex on your family members that aren't doing it.
A hex on the family members, and also if you live in a neighborhood, there are kids available. I think it's President's Day. Aren't people off?
Yeah, you gonna give me 20? You know what? That used to be the thing. Like shoveling
on doors?
Shoveling the driveway might not be fun. You get a snow blower, oh man, it's a game changer. I sit out there, I blow everybody else's driveway just because it's that fun to use the thing.
There you go. If you live in Tyvus's neighborhood, just call Tyvus.
I got HOA. Anyway.
You are the HOA. That's what you say.
Number one for me is, so my grandmother-in-law was my wife's grandmother. So that make her my grandma-in-law?
Correct.
Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Okay, well, she's doing like they at her nursing home, they say like, what do you want? Like, if you could have a special day, what would you want that special day to be? And she said, I would want it Ohio State theme, and I would want Brutus there, and I want my grandson-in-law to be there, and blah, blah, blah. Make a long story short, that day is today, so I am going to have this party, and it should be a great time.
Sounds like fun.
It should be.
What's the food?
I don't know.
No, that's the only question I asked.
I don't know. I did ask that. You know, I'm a guy that
important
I don't really ask questions. Like, people say stuff to me, and I'll be like, okay. Like,
you need to ask more questions.
I don't ask.
Now that you're 31 and wiser,
I should ask questions.
Ask more questions.
First thing for me, guys, is the one thing that I miss the most about not having a cable or a satellite or a YouTube TV, something like that.
What do you have?
I mean, some people may hypothetically have a device where they can just get TV however they want.
Nobody you know of.
Hypothetically.
There's just people out there
The technology
like that,
exists. We're not saying for or advocating.
Allegedly.
But the thing I miss the most is a DVR, because there's a lot of times I can't be home to watch shows. I love that Monday Night Raw is on Netflix now. Mm-hmm. So if I can't be home on Monday, I can go back and watch it. Well, I have not been able to see the second half of season 5 of Yellowstone, and the finale, well, it is coming to Peacock on March 15th, and I am super stoked about that.
Didn't you hate the finale?
I hated the whole last season. I hated the whole 5th season.
That's a shame.
It just stunk. It wasn't necessary. It loses all substance without John Dutton, without Kevin Costner's character.
What does Bo think?
Agrees with me.
Oh, okay.
But we had to finish it because we had invested so much time into doing it. Second thing for me, and this just popped up on the YouTube chat from CB, not that CB, but Florida Buckeye Nut. It's not my fault that it doesn't snow in South Florida, in reference to my hex on those who haven't cleared their sidewalks. CB saying, well, they don't have to clear their sidewalks. It doesn't snow in South Florida. Must be nice.
Must be.
But you think of spring things.
I'm just not a
think of warm things.
Number 2 for me is I got to start packing my house because I'm moving soon. So I gotta start that this week, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Second thing for me, that music means the Jake Diebler show is up next. Get his thoughts on the loss to Michigan yesterday. DeVere is in with Maddie for AR coming up next. If you haven't gotten enough of Tyus Powell, he will join those guys as well.
What time are you on with them?
I don't know. 2?
At that point, you need to ask people to come out and help you pack your things. Nothing worse than helping a friend move and they don't have any of their stuff packed.
I don't know what time I'm on with them, and it bothers
Just
me.
make sure in between you're packing your things, okay? We've got to run, as Baker mentioned, the Jake Diebler show.
Probably 1:30. That's when you usually are.
That sounds like a pretty decent time for Tyus Powell to join Rothman and Ice. But again, Jake Diebler show next. Bishop and Friends back tomorrow, same time, same place, The Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone, up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard, so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on My Plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon.
Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus, 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter.
Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
Winter's here, and as the snow begins to pile up outside, you might find yourself dreaming of warmer days, sunshine, barbecues, fishing, maybe even thinking about those home projects you've been putting off for forever. Why wait for spring to start planning? Now's the perfect time to get ahead. With so many roofing, gutter, and siding companies out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. With over 30 years of experience and a focus on every detail, Newman Roofing makes it simple. As a family-owned business, they're dedicated to delivering an outstanding customer experience from your first phone call all the way through to the final touches on your home. When it comes to roofing, gutters, and siding, trust the name that's been a local favorite for decades, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
At NJM Insurance, we're like a symphony. It all starts by doing the right thing. Add in dedicated reps and put policyholders first. But no jingles or mascots because it's just not us. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
It's our President's Day sales event all month long.
This event is big. You choose your rate. 0%, 1.9%, 2.9%, and up to a full 60 months on so many new Lindsay Hondas. And no trade-in required. This deal works with 0 down. 2025 CRVs and Ridgelines. Both only $299 a month. That's $299 a month. Visit lindsayhonda.com because this February is the time to
keep more presidents in your wallet with Lindsay Honda.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric. Maybe your furnace isn't running so well. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater, or maybe it's just a leaky sink. Let my team take care of you the same way they take care of all my championship buddies. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com.